Really? Su Rui's eyes suddenly lit up. Of course it's true. When did your senior brother Zhang lie to you? Zhang Chen patted his chest with a serious look on his face. So, Su Rui followed Zhang Chen back to the ancient world. On the other side, there were only 2 people left in the square that was originally crowded. Hua Qingyan stared at Leng Huaning on the ground, who was still holding Ruo Qianzhe's body and was reluctant to let go, with complicated eyes, and sighed. Let's go. I won't leave. After a while, Leng Huaning shook her head mechanically. Well. Looking at the other party's appearance, Hua Qingyan sighed deeply. It's over. If this continues, won't it breed inner demons? Just when Hua Qingyan fell into deep thought, Leng Huaning suddenly stood up with Ruo Qianzhe in her arms and said, let's go. Hua Qingyan's eyes suddenly lit up when she heard this. If she said this, she would not be sleepy. Hua Ning, it's great that you can figure it out, Hua Qingyan said excitedly. Leng Huaning nodded lightly, caressed Ruo Qianzhe's bloodless face and said tenderly. I have to quickly find a 10,000-year ice coffin for Qianzhe to seal him up, otherwise his body will rot. No, I don't want to watch him disappear. Although Hua Qingyan felt a little uncomfortable after hearing this, she didn't know why, but she was still somewhat happy in her heart. At least Leng Huaning had accepted the fact that Ruo Qianzhe died and could not be resurrected, and that was enough. And once Qianzhe's body rots, it will be difficult for me to resurrect him. Leng Huaning stared at Ruo Qianzhe's face and said with tenderness. Hua Qingyan. She almost spit out a mouthful of old blood. Hua Qingyan put her hands on Leng Huaning's shoulders and said with a serious expression. Ahem. Hua Ning. Although this matter is cruel, you have to accept it. If Qianzhe is dead, forever if you are far away from us, it is impossible to be resurrected. She must explain this matter to Leng Huaning now, otherwise she will cause more harm to Leng Huaning in the future. Master Sect Master. May I ask what your strength is? Leng Huaning raised her head and looked at Hua Qingyan quietly. Although Hua Qingyan was a little confused by this question, she still replied. I am a land god. Is the sect leader the strongest in the world? Leng Huaning asked again. No, Hua Qingyan shook her head. Not only am I not the strongest in this world, but it is said that there is an upper realm connecting our world, and there will be celestial immortal and even immortal ancestor-level existences there. Then can they resurrect a person? Leng Huaning murmured to herself. If not, then I will keep getting stronger at any cost until the day I have the strength to resurrect Qianzhe. This. Hua Qingyan was stunned. She didn't know what to say. If you pour cold water on Leng Huaning, it will easily make her depressed, lose the meaning of living in the world, and live in confusion. And if you don't reject the other party, will you become obsessed with practice? Fall into demon Dao and no longer be the gentle and kind-hearted Leng Huaning? Hua Qingyan fell into a tangle, but she made her decision quickly. If you choose not to reject the other party, at least it will not dampen the other party's enthusiasm for cultivation, and may even allow her to practice harder. Moreover, even if she goes crazy, she will be able to detect it in time and still have room for maneuver. Okay. Then you must practice hard and strive to resurrect Ruo Qianzhe as soon as possible. Hua Qingyan smiled and patted Leng Huaning's shoulder. Well. I will definitely cultivate hard, at any cost. Congratulations to the host for using his own life to shatter the conspiracy and make the 102 heroines of Ziyang sect burst into tears. Revenge points plus 50,000. Reward the host for reincarnation and gain a second life. The system prompt sounds. Ruo Qianzhe nodded with satisfaction, thought for a while and said, can I choose the person to be reincarnated? Trigger key plot points. 1. Reincarnated as Demon Venerable's son, Demon Venerable's strength, peak of land gods. 2. Reincarnated as a spiritual pet and adopted by an ancient demon. The ancient demon may ask you to help her practice. The strength of the ancient demon, celestial immortal. 3. Reincarnated as the Prince Tianwei Immortal Dynasty, the strength of his father, middle stage of land immortal. 4. Reincarnated and accepted as a disciple by Supreme Venerable's strength, celestial immortal. Do the 2 options 2 and 4 allow me to be reincarnated into the upper realm? Ruo Qianzhe said excitedly. No, these 2 people were originally in the upper realm, but they quietly hid here 100,000 years ago and did not leave, so they could only let the host reincarnate in the lower realm. Ruo Qiange was dumbfounded. She didn't expect that a strong man at the celestial immortal level would really stay in the lower realm and not return to the upper realm. What was he planning? However, Ruo Qiange didn't pay much attention to this and thought about who would be more suitable for him to choose. Needless to say, the one who was eliminated first, if the guess is correct, Demon Venerable, is Mo Yuan. How could his enemy be her son? Then he had to eliminate option 3. He had said before that he didn't want to turn around in the palace and scheming all day long. Then there's ruled out too. How could he be someone else's pet? And there's also a magic word in his name, which might have something to do with Mo Yuan. So I can only choose option 4. System, I choose option 4, Ruo Qiange said. Well, but I have to tell you something before reincarnation. Oh, what is it? Ruo Qiange asked, confused. You should be mentally prepared first. Well, you go ahead. Ruo Qiange nodded indifferently. Actually. You are Ruo Qiange. Oh, I know, I transmigrated and became Ruo Qiange. Ruo Qiange nodded. No, I mean you are the original owner of Ruo Qiange. Ah? Ruo Qiange was dumbfounded. Sensing Ruo Qiange's doubts, the system quickly explained. I feel sympathy for your extraordinary experience in your last life, so I plan to help you and help you be reborn to take revenge on the heroine and Zhang Chen. Oh. No, I'm obviously a transmigrator, and I still have memories of my previous life, Ruo Qiange said, confused. This is because I let your soul undergo a new reincarnation first, and with a new memory, I allowed you to be reborn to avenge the heroines. So this is why I called the revenge system, and you were selected for revenge. Reason. Oh, then why don't you just let me be reborn to take revenge on the heroines? And live one more life as a transmigrator? Ruo Qiange asked doubtfully. This is so that you can take revenge on Yi Qingshui and Lang Huaning with peace of mind. After all, this is what they owe you. And the reason why I didn't kill them is because I really think of your character. Yi Qingshui is kind to you, and Lang Huaning has a deep relationship with you. It is impossible for you to kill them, otherwise if you know that you are the original owner of Qiange will fall into heavy grief. Therefore, this method of making them feel guilty about living in the world is used as punishment. So that's it. Ruo Qiange lowered her head, wondering what she was thinking. I have a question, will you forgive them in the future? No, Ruo Qiange shook her head and answered without any hesitation. Now that I have relived my life and have a new life, I have nothing to do with them anymore. Ruo Qiange glanced deeply into the distance, even though she was looking at the air created by the system. She said deeply, I have gained many new insights after reviving my life. There is simply no one in this life who can accompany you to the end, and the person you like may not be worthy of your protection. The only one who can truly be by your side is yourself. Now I just want to repay the kindness that should be repaid. Then practice hard and stand at the top of this world in the future, not to overlook all sentient beings. Not to do whatever you want. Just to give yourself the greatest confidence, protect the most important self, and take this thing that I love the most. It is enough to travel around thousands of mountains and rivers with a body, to see the warmth and coldness of the world, and to have fun for the rest of my life. Ruo Qiange put her hands behind her back and wore her long flowing hair shawl. For him, he owes Yi Qingshui the greatest debt. Suddenly he changed the subject. Of course, I am also a person who knows how to repay kindness. The system not only saved my life, but also helped me complete my revenge. It also helped me realize what I really want to do. Such a temperamental system. If you are reincarnated as a daughter, I will let you be my woman and repay you well. FKU. Little sword. Let me be reincarnated quickly. I can't bear to use the revenge point anymore. Ruo Qiange suddenly said excitedly. Okay. The next second, Ruo Qiange felt dizzy and lost consciousness. When he woke up again, Ruo Qiange found that he was in a world full of golden light. Where is this? Ruo Qiange doesn't understand. 3, 2, 1. That's it. The next second, Ruo Qiange only felt a burst of fierce bright light coming in, and it took a while before she reluctantly opened her eyes. After opening his eyes, what he saw was an old man. An old man was looking at him with a smile. Old man, who are you? Ruo Qiange took a look at the old man in front of him. He was dressed in a white robe, unstained by the world, and had a white beard on his chin, which gave him a somewhat immortal air. Then he looked around again, and then realized that he was in a rock cave. There were many unknown vines and green plants in the cave, as well as some sundries, such as alchemy furnaces and bookshelves. "Haha, little baby, are you surprised that you are not dead yet?" the old man said with a smile on his face. Ruo Qiange looked calm. "Old man." The old man cleared his throat. "Ahem. Didn't you say that you really want to marry that little girl? Don't you love her very much? I will keep your soul now and help you to be reborn. You shouldn't, are you happy?" "Haha, I was just teasing her," Ruo Qiange said with a slight smile. The old man was dumbfounded and blinked in disbelief. Then why did you say such things?" Ruo Qiange grinned. "Of course it's to make her feel a little guilty." "Old man." He winced. "Can you tell me why you did this?" The old man hesitated for a moment and then said, "I have observed the memories of your life, and it is indeed quite sad to see such a master, senior, and junior sister. But didn't they also repent later? It's obvious that you also like your senior sister, but why do you look like you don't care now? You still want to torture her." Ruo Qiange just smiled and said nothing. The person who liked Leng Huaning was Ruo Qiange before her rebirth. What does it have to do with the current Ruo Qiange? "Okay, old man, you saved me. I really want to thank you, but you won't save me for nothing," Ruo Qiange said. "Haha, you can call me Supreme Venerable. If you are willing to become a disciple, then treat me as master and disciple." Supreme Venerable stroked his beard and said with a smile. "Disciple pays homage to master." Ruo Qiange knelt down and performed an apprenticeship ceremony. "Ha ha ha, disciple, get up quickly." Grand Master Venerable stroked his beard and laughed, then used a gentle force to help Ruo Qiange up. "Why does master want to accept me as his disciple?" Ruo Qiange asked doubtfully. "What do you think?" Venerable blinked at Ruo Qiange. "Ruo Qiange, this old man doesn't seem serious. Do you want me to guess?" Ruo Qiange replied jokingly. "Humph, I'll knock you down." The Supreme Venerable snorted coldly and walked away. "Are you angry now?" When Ruo Qiange was thinking about catching up with Taishong Venerable, he found that he was standing in a pool full of pale golden liquid. The pool was full of golden spiritual liquid with a faint medicinal fragrance. "I am just like a newborn baby, unable to run at all." At this moment, Supreme Venerable also came back, holding 3 golden little dragons in his hand, came to Ruo Qiange, and said with a smile, "Come, refine them." "Refining?" Ruo Qiange blinked and looked at the 3 golden dragons in Venerable's hand in disbelief. "Are these 3 holy waters?" "Haha, I'm not too stupid." Supreme Venerable smiled slightly. "Dog system. What's going on? I thought you stole the 3 holy waters," Ruo Changxin said. "Haha, you don't have this ability at all. If you need to use specific functions, you have to pay revenge points." "Then you're telling me to let the bullets fly for a while?" "Yes, host, so isn't there nothing happening in Ziyang sect now?" Ruo Qiange. He didn't plan to talk to the system anymore. "Master, what are the uses of these 3 holy waters?" Ruo Qiange asked cautiously. "Are they used to improve one's realm?" "No," Supreme Venerable smiled slightly. "This is to lay the foundation for your body." "Lay the foundation." Use materials from celestial immortal level peak experts. Ruo Qiange murmured to himself, feeling very shocked. Ruo Qiange raised her head and looked at Supreme Venerable with a serious face. "Master, please tell me why you are helping me like this." Supreme Venerable stared into Ruo Qiange's eyes with mixed feelings. After looking at it for a long time, he said leisurely, "I will tell you later. I hope your talent will not disappoint me. But if you don't tell me the reason, I won't be able to sleep. I'm afraid you'll kill me like a pig one day." Ruo Qiange was speechless. "What good reasons are there for you to hide? Is there still some shady reason?" Ruo Qiange didn't dare to think about it anymore. "Okay. Hurry up and refine these 3 golden dragons for me," Supreme Venerable said suddenly anxiously. Seeing the other party's appearance, Ruo Qiange suddenly became serious and said nervously, "Are there enemies coming to kill you?" In his opinion, The most likely reason why Supreme Venerable is so anxious is that Mo Yuan is coming to visit, so he urges himself to refine the 3 holy waters. No, I'm afraid that I will change my mind and not give you the 3 holy waters. Supreme Venerable explained with a slight smile. Ruo Qiange. Ahem. In fact, I have no problem with Master not giving it to me. After all, I am extremely grateful that you saved my life. What's more, you restored my innocence and saved thousands of lives of Ziyang sect. Ruo Qiange said seriously. To be honest, he thought this old man was quite strange. Haha, just do it when I tell you to do it. If you don't work hard to become stronger, what will you do to repay me in the future? Supreme Venerable said with a dark face. Okay, now I feel even weirder. Old man, how should I refine the 3 holy waters? I am just a baby now, with no real power at all. Ruo Qiange said puzzled. Haha. It's harmless to have no realm. I have helped you suppress the violent energy of the 3 holy waters. You just need to swallow them and follow my steps. Venerable stroked his beard, smiled. Good. Ruo Qiange didn't say much, grabbed 3 small golden dragons and stuffed them into his mouth. The small golden dragons melted in his mouth and turned into a stream of heat before being swallowed into his stomach. Then what? Guide these 3 little golden dragons to Dantian, Supreme Venerable said. Ruo Qiange followed what the other party said and used the weak spiritual energy in her body to pull the little golden dragon into the Dantian. A light red flame appeared in the hand of Supreme Venerable, and he pointed a finger at Ruo Qiange's palm. Feel the cluster of flames in Dantian, and use it to refine the 3 little golden dragons. Ruo Qiange nodded and followed the steps mentioned by the other party. Sure enough, he saw a small cluster of flames in his Dantian. Ruo Qiange felt the warmth of the other person with her spiritual consciousness and quickly became familiar with the other person. Manipulating this cluster of small flames to come in front of the 3 small golden dragons, covering the 3 small golden dragons, the flames burned the 3 small golden dragons, but the strange thing is that these 3 small golden dragons are obviously made of water. But it did not evaporate due to the temperature of the flame. Under the scorching flames, the little golden dragon was very irritable at first because of the heat, but gradually he calmed down, and after an hour he completely calmed down. Okay. Already, the 3 holy waters have been completely refined by you, now it's time to move on to the next step. The voice of Supreme Venerable sounded outside his mind. Old man, tell me, I'll listen. The villain transformed from Ruo Qiange's spiritual consciousness nodded. Separate these 3 little golden dragons individually and move them to the skull, right hand bone, and left leg bone respectively. Although Ruo Qiange was confused, she still did what the other party said, and soon she controlled the 3 little golden dragons that she had refined to arrive at the designated location. Control them to fuse at the location of these 3 bones. The old voice of Supreme Venerable sounded. What? What is this going to do? Ruo Qiange couldn't help but ask. Haha. Of course it is to lay the foundation for the bones of your body. Laying the foundation. Ruo Qiange was thoughtful and asked after a while. Then why only lay the foundation for these 3 bones? Aren't other parts of the body important? Because there are only 3 little golden dragons. Supreme Venerable smiled slightly. Ruo Qiange. Although the little golden dragons look exactly the same, they come from 3 different celestial immortals and are separate individuals. Clear. Ruo Qiange first controlled his consciousness to reach the position of the left leg bone. Then he controlled the little golden dragon to possess the left leg bone, and then drove him to completely integrate with the left leg bone. The process went smoothly. After burning incense, the left leg bone was coated with a light golden pattern. Ruo Qiange felt that the power in her leg was much stronger. Next is the right hand bone. The same steps are followed. After completion, the right hand bone is also coated with a light golden pattern. The same steps were followed for the skull. After completion, Ruo Qiange slowly opened his eyes. He waved his right hand, and a buzzing sound suddenly appeared in the air. He was sure that he could kill a cow with 1 fist now. A baby who can kill a cow with 1 punch is asking if you are powerful? Is it scary? Well, yes, my disciple has the qualifications of a great emperor. Supreme Venerable nodded with satisfaction, took out a bottle of small elixir from his arms, handed it to Ruo Qianzhi's hand, and said, "From now on, take one of the elixirs here every month and practice well every day. I hope your immortal bones can one day grow again." "Is the immortal bone growing again?" Ruo Qianzhi blinked in disbelief. "Can immortal bones grow back?" "It's usually difficult." Supreme Venerable shook his head, but smiled and said, "But under the guidance of the power of the elixir I give you, your immortal bones may have a chance to grow back." "Yeah, disciple, I understand." Ruo Qianzhi nodded. "As long as you understand, just stay and practice in this cave. The pills I give you can also satisfy your hunger. When you grow up a little, you can hunt and cook by yourself. You have to change your taste. I have to leave for a while." Supreme Venerable disappeared after giving Ruo Qianzhi a jade pendant. Ruo Qianzhi took the jade pendant and looked it up and down, then realized that the jade pendant was used to save lives. "Open the system mall," Ruo Qianzhi said in his heart. Host: Ruo Qianzhi. Physique: none. Kung Fu: none. Realm: none. Revenge point: 326,101. This is all the result of my hard work in torturing people. Just bring them all into the most expensive category. I will have a lot of revenge points. The immortality fruit. The value is equivalent to the elixir that has been grown under the soil of Sansheng for 100,000 years. Taken alone can increase your lifespan by 5,000 years. You can refine the longevity pill to increase your lifespan by about 10,000 years. Worth 1 million revenge points. The Sutra of Immortality. Upper Realm Intermediate Heaven level. It is a defensive skill. When it reaches the top, the user can reach the point where the corpse nirvana is reborn, human flesh and bones of the dead and alive. After redemption, it will automatically reach the entry level. Worth 300,000 revenge points. Diamond Sutra. Upper Realm Heavenly Intermediate level. It has both defense and offense. After cultivating to the entry level, you can open the golden body, which will increase the size and body strength and defense several times in a short period of time. Cultivate to the great accomplishment and you can fight against 3 people at the same time. The stronger ones above are in the same situation and have the upper hand. Automatic entry after redemption, worth 300,000 revenge points. Heavenly Law Shaping Earth. Upper Realm Heavenly Advanced. Turn the body's spiritual power into the ultimate offensive energy, which can be used alone or in groups. It can summon a law manifestation that is 100 or even 10,000 times its size. The powerful law manifestation can be controlled by the host's thoughts. Take control. Automatic entry after redemption, worth 1 million revenge points. Well, just exchange it for me for that Diamond Sutra. Ruo Qianzhi thought for a while and said, "Redemption successful. System. Just take out the items in the system space." Ruo Qianzhi thought. The bones of the Emperor Dragon Emperor and the bones of the ancient beast Phoenix are revived. Heaven-defying comprehension starts. The Diamond Sutra is activated and you have started. I feel like there is endless prehistoric power in my body. Looking at the pale golden light emerging from the palm of her right hand, Ruo Qianzhi murmured to herself. Next, it's time to practice hard. The function of heaven-defying comprehension is that it will have a 1,000-fold bonus when comprehending exercises and martial arts. He looked around and found that the system could only redeem exercises, herbs, elixirs, weapons, and armor. The only things that can improve one's cultivation level are herbs and elixirs. Both of these things are one-time consumption, which is not conducive to long-term development. Ruo Qianzhi does not plan to redeem them yet. He has no use for the weapons and armors right now, so there is no need to exchange them. Ruo Qianzhi just sat cross-legged in the pool, practicing quietly and happily. But what he didn't know at this time was that many people were sad and crying for him. Ziyang sect. A continuous drizzle fell from the sky, washing over the huge 100-meter-tall human statue standing in the center of the square, but it remained firm and motionless. The prototype of this 100-meter-tall humanoid statue is not their sect master Hua Qingyan, but the ordinary boy Ruo Qianzhi who saved the entire sect not long ago. Although it was raining, disciples would still come to the statue from time to time, bringing a few bouquets of flowers or some food to sit down and talk to the statue. Senior brother Qian, do you know? That white-eyed wolf followed Zhang Chen to the ancient world. You loved her so much before, but now she hasn't even come back to look at you after you died. Oh, I hope Master Demon Venerable will dislike her one day and give her justice. Senior brother, do you know, after you die, those who have broken your heart will not feel well. Elder Yi has been in seclusion for more than a month and has not left the house. I don't know if the Taoist heart has been damaged, hehe. And your senior sister Lang Huaning, her situation is even worse. She put your body in 10,000 years of black ice, held the ice coffin and shouted all day long that she wanted to resurrect you. She seemed to be going crazy. It's considered retribution. Oh, I just don't know when Su Rui, that white-eyed wolf, will be punished. After all, she is the most heartless one. Compared to the other two, to be honest, I hate her more. But because she has no conscience, she is more unconscionable than the others. The two of them seem to be living a more relaxed life. She is in the ancient world now. I heard that the order in the ancient world is relatively chaotic. A white-eyed wolf like Su Rui shouldn't be able to survive long in that kind of place. I hope someone is okay. Under the statue, more than a dozen disciples were discussing. Qianj. It's raining lightly outside. Do you feel cold? Lang Huaning looked at the continuous drizzle outside the wooden window and stroked the ice coffin in her hands. By the way, I almost forgot, you must be feeling very cold when you are sleeping in an ice coffin. Lang Huaning touched Ruo Qianj's face with her fair and delicate hands through the thick layer of ice, sniffed and said. Although her delicate white hands were a little stiff and red from being frozen by the Wanyanxuan ice, she still stroked Ruo Qianj's pale face with her eyes closed through the ice, her eyes red and blurred. Don't be afraid. I will rescue you soon. Detection of Lang Huaning's mental disorder, revenge points plus 2000. Frost Palace. Yi Qingshui had a lot of sundries placed in front of her at this time. She lowered her head, and her soft black hair was a little messy at the moment. Combined with her thin body and pale face, it was inevitable that people would feel pity for her. If you observe carefully, you can see that her black and smooth hair seems to have white spots. She picked up a short wooden sword, showed a smile and murmured, "This is the wooden sword I made for Gare when he was a child. I was afraid that he would hurt himself when I taught him swordsmanship. Later, when I grew up and no longer needed it, I just brought it back and kept it." Yi Qingshui's mind quickly recalled that on the top of the mountain, there were two slightly yellowed figures reflected in the sunset. Master, do you think my sword is handsome? Ruo Qianj, a 6 or 7-year-old boy who was more than half a meter tall, took the wooden sword in his hand and chopped off a weed under the sword. He excitedly ran to Yi Qingshui and circled around her body. Yi Qingshui had a smile on her face, her eyes quickly followed the little kid's figure, and she found the right moment to hug him to her chest and kissed him hard on the face. Of course, my family Gare is the most handsome. The little kid was very happy when he heard this. He didn't feel that the master was trying to coax him at all, but he really thought that the master thought he was very powerful. For the next long time, Yi Qingshui could always see the little kid giggling from time to time, which was really cute. Hee. Thinking of these beautiful memories, a faint smile finally appeared on Yi Qingshui's pale face. Yi Qingshui recalled the past with the host, feeling self-blame, guilt and nostalgia filled her heart. Revenge points plus 2000. She picked up another graffiti with 4 little people. There was an adult, a boy and 2 children on the painting. If she remembers correctly, this should be what Ruo Qianj drew that day. Dazzling red balls hung from the horizon, dyeing half of the sky dim. The yellow maple trees dropped their leaves and gently fell to the ground. Several of them fell on the boy sitting under the big tree, but he didn't care at all and was still concentrating on tinkering with the things in his hands. Autumn is in full swing. Yi Qingshui, who was dressed in white and unstained by the world, put her hands behind her back and walked towards the yard with light steps. She soon spotted the figure sitting under the maple leaf tree. I was so serious that I didn't know what I was writing or drawing when I picked up the pen. Yi Qingshui curiously walked to the big tree, carefully knelt down, rubbed Ruo Qianj's head, and smiled softly. What is Gare doing? Seeing that the other party was still doing what he was doing seriously and not paying attention to himself, Yi Qingshui suddenly became more curious and turned her head to see what he was doing. At this time, the boy was holding a white canvas on his knees, but the middle part was stained by ink. What are you painting? Yi Qingshui looked at the four little people in the painting and asked curiously. The painting will be finished soon, master, just wait a moment. Ruo Qiange smiled at Yi Qingshui, then turned around and started painting seriously again with the pen in hand. Okay, I want to see what kind of unique paintings my gear can create. Yi Qingshui showed a soft smile and did not disturb Ruo Qiange anymore. She just squatted down and held her cheek and watched quietly. After burning the incense, Ruo Qiange suddenly stopped writing, raised the picture and waved it happily in front of Yi Qingshui twice. Master, look at it quickly, I've finished it. Well, let Master take a look. Yi Qingshui took the painting held by Ruo Qiange's small hand with her fair hands, and looked at it carefully with curious eyes. There is a room in the painting with a sun hanging in the sky. There are four figures standing next to a big tree under the sun, standing side by side and holding hands. The little guy in the middle couldn't be me, right? Yi Qingshui couldn't help but twitch the corners of her mouth, blinking and staring at Ruo Qiange. Master, you don't even know what you look like. Ruo Qiange grinned. You painted me so ugly. Yi Qingshui gave Ruo Qiange an annoyed look, but there was no trace of anger on her face. Ahem. The more you draw, the better it will look. Ruo Qiange cleared her throat in embarrassment. I will work hard to practice painting so that I can draw Master's most beautiful look in the future. Ruo Qiange looked at Yi Qingshui's little face and said seriously. Okay. I'm waiting for you to draw me. Yi Qingshui covered her mouth and smiled sweetly, then rubbed Ruo Qiange's little head. Master, you probably can't recognize the content of the words, so let me point out to you who these people are. This is Deng Qing. This is Gare. This is me. This is Hua Ning, I still remember. Looking at the painting in her hand, Yi Qingshui murmured to herself, her mouth trembling a little, and a line of crystal-clear tears slid down her fair face. Gare promised Master, so when will you come back to draw me? Just a month ago. In the ancient world, in a dark and quiet palace. Mo Yuan sat on the throne made of purple-black stone, and the purple-clothed woman with her eyes tightly closed said, Ancient. Lord Ancient Demon. This is probably what happened. Well, I can't blame you for this. Just go down. Gu Mo still closed his eyes and waved his hands in a leisurely manner. Okay. Then I'll say goodbye to you, sir, and go down. Mo Yuan first wiped the cold sweat from his forehead and then left cautiously. The woman sitting on the purple throne was wearing a purple tight-fitting gown, and Chang Shan easily outlined her perfect curves and uneven figure. She gives off a very mature aura, but she looks to be in her 30s, and her skin is so fair and soft that it gives people the illusion that it can be broken with a snap of a finger. Why is it an illusion? Because her skin is at the semi-ancestral level, it is not that easy to break. The ancient demon slowly opened his eyes, and his eyes as deep as the starry sky calmly looked at the three golden feathers floating in the sky. Old man, I didn't expect that you would end up trying to steal something from me. She stretched out a white and slender hand and gently caught the three feathers in the air. She held them in front of her and blew out a breath of hot air. The three feathers burned up instantly and turned into dust and disappeared between the sky and the earth. It seems that you think your life is too long. The ancient demon stood up and stretched lazily. Stretching her waist, her charming posture combined with her graceful body is extremely attractive. Old man, I'm here to find you. After leaving these words, her body became distorted, and the surrounding void was torn apart with tiny cracks. In less than a breath, her body had disappeared from the same place. The sky in the ancient world was dark green, and the plants here all looked withered, which was very strange. On a busy street, the layout here is no different from ordinary streets in the world, except for the slight differences in the construction materials of the houses and the items sold. I'm selling the eyes of the storm wolf. It only takes half a day to kill them now. If they're not fresh, I won't pay for them. We are selling the hair of the orangutan. Take a look at it. It is very warm. Come and try it. From time to time there will be shouts from the roadside. Zhang Chen held Su Rui's hand and came to a pawn shop selling jewelry. Zhang Chen searched around and finally found a purple plant necklace of good quality. He handed it to Su Rui and said with a smile, Junior sister, what do you think of this necklace? As long as it's a gift from senior brother, Rui likes it. Su Rui tilted her head and smiled. Okay. Senior brother will buy it for you. Zhang Chen smiled and nodded, then looked at the 2-meter giant beast with a bull's head and a horse's face. He was the owner of this shop. Brother, how much is this necklace in ancient coins? Hey, isn't this Protector Zhang who has a very good relationship with Demon Venerable? I usually sell this necklace for 200 ancient coins. Since the person buying it is Master Zhang, I will sell it to you for 250 ancient coins for the sake of face. Okay. The boss chuckled. Yes, not bad. Zhang Chen patted the other party's shoulder and nodded with satisfaction. This boss gave Zhang Chen face and knew how to behave. But I don't know why he always feels that there is something strange. Maybe he heard wrongly. Zhang Chen decisively took out a heavy bag and threw it in front of the other party. Find 250 ancient coins in this storage bag. Okay. Protector Zhang. Just wait a moment. The bull-headed horse-faced man nodded with a smile. After half a stick of incense, Su Rui and Zhang Chen walked on the street. Looking at Su Rui with her head lowered, Zhang Chen asked with concern, "Junior sister, are you feeling unwell?" "No, thank you for your concern, senior brother." Su Rui smiled and shook her head. "Then why does junior sister look so sad?" Zhang Chen asked with concern. "Oh. I just suddenly remembered that I seem to have heard the boss say something very strange just now," Su Rui said. "Oh, what are you talking about? You might as well say it and let me, senior brother, listen. The boss said that this necklace was originally sold for 200 ancient coins. And then he sold it for 250 ancient coins just for the sake of my senior brother. I must have heard wrong." Su Rui smiled and shook her head. Zhang Chen. His face instantly darkened. Mud, he didn't hear wrong at all, but he was really deceived. He turned around and was about to run back to find the bull-headed horse-faced man to settle the score. After thinking about it for a while, I stopped. First, I feel that if Minotaur Horseface did something bad, he must have run away long ago. After all, he would run away very quickly after doing something bad, and he would not just stand there stupidly waiting for others to come to him. The second reason is that Su Rui is by his side. If he settles the score with someone else for a mere 50 ancient coins, he will look very rude. Thinking of this, Zhang Chen's dark face turned into a smile. He turned around and looked at Su Rui and said, "Junior sister, if there is anything you want on the street, just ask, senior brother will buy it for you." Su Rui's eyes suddenly lit up when she heard this, and she stared at Zhang Chen with blinking eyes. "Is it true, senior brother?" "Of course it's true." Zhang Chen wiped his nose and smiled. "Senior brother. You are so kind to me." Su Rui hugged Zhang Chen happily, with a happy smile on her face. She originally thought that after losing Ruo Qiange, no one in the world would love her, but she never expected that Zhang Chen was no less kind to her than Ruo Qiange. Zhang Chen's luck plus 1000. 2 hours later, Zhang Chen took Su Rui back to the palace in the ancient world. After thinking so much, Zhang Chen finally decided to confess to Mo Yuan that he had brought Su Rui back, instead of hiding her out of fear. After all, there is no airtight wall in the world. She will find out sooner or later, and then she will only be even more angry. Su Rui looked at the necklace hanging around her neck with a happy face, and just let Zhang Chen hold her little hand and walked towards the depths of the palace. At this time, in a deep palace, Mo Yuan put his hands behind his back and paced back and forth anxiously. "Zhang Chen, this damn bastard, how dare you not take it seriously? You have written such a diary but insist on saying that you didn't write it. Are you despising yourself? I won't teach you a lesson when you come back," Demon Yuan said through gritted teeth. "Report. Protector Zhang, please see me." At this moment, a sound came from outside the door. Mo Yuan was immediately happy when he heard this, but he quickly calmed down. He sat back on the throne, lifted up his skirt, crossed his legs, put his hand on his chin and said lazily, "Let him come in." Zhang Chen held Su Rui's hand and walked into the hall with some anxiety. Mo Yuan squinted his eyes slightly, trying to pretend to be resting, but suddenly he caught a glimpse of Su Rui from the corner of his eye, and he suddenly became a little uneasy. Who is she? It seems to be Zhang Chen's junior sister. "Master Demon Venerable, I'm back." Zhang Chen said, cupping his hands. Mo Yuan opened his eyes, pretended to have discovered Su Rui by accident, and asked aloud. This is Master Demon Venerable, let me introduce to you. This is my junior sister. Zhang Chen wiped his hands and smiled. Oh, your junior sister. Mo Yuan nodded and asked, why did you bring her here? She is my junior sister, but everyone in the Ziyang sect hates her. They hate her because of her physique. In order to prevent her from being bullied, I brought her here, Zhang Chen explained. Mo Yuan nodded. Well, so you mean you want to be a good person? Make me take the blame for all the bad things you do? She is my junior sister, so I brought her back to make her life better. Isn't it my duty as a senior brother? Hee. Mo Yuan smiled coldly and put her chin in her hand. I never raise idle people in the ancient world. Then I'll take care of you. Zhang Chen patted his chest and said righteously. Senior brother. Hearing these words, Su Rui was moved and wiped her tears. She never thought that besides Ruo Qiange, there would be another man who was so kind to her. She swore that she would never let Zhang Chen down. You raise it? Mo Yuan gritted his teeth and clenched his hands so hard that the soft leather on the throne wrinkled. What do you use to support me? Didn't I give you your money? Mo Yu said with a cold smile. This. Zhang Chen suddenly scratched his head in embarrassment. But didn't you say that you gave me this money because I saved your life? It's a reward for saving your life, Zhang Chen said righteously. You. Mo Yuan looked at Zhang Chen in disbelief. Zhang Chen's luck value 5,000. Then you mean that I helped you deal with Ruo Qiange, and that's what I should do to repay your kindness? Mo Yuan said. Well, I guess so. Zhang Chen nodded. If Demon Venerable wasn't trying to repay a favor, then he really couldn't imagine why the other party would help him like this. After all, from Zhang Chen's perspective, he didn't know that Mo Yuan admired him. It was only when Ruo Qiange was killed and Zhang Chen lived happily with the heroines that Mo Yuan confided these feelings to him, and Zhang Chen reluctantly accepted her because of his guilt. Mo Yuan took a deep breath, feeling very complicated. Does Zhang Chen still not understand her thoughts? Why is he so stupid? As a superior demon venerable, she has always been cold-blooded and ruthless. Even if you were my savior, I would never be so kind to you. What a piece of wood. But, since you wrote that diary entry, it means you probably like me too. Thinking of this, a blush flashed across Mo Yuihan's face, but she quickly suppressed it. But why don't you admit that you wrote that diary? Thinking of this, Mo Yuan couldn't help but feel a little sad. His face turned cold instantly. He stared at Zhang Chen and said without emotion, Did you write that diary? Zhang Chen was stunned for a moment, talking about how he got involved in the diary, but he still replied, No. He didn't lie. This diary was indeed not written by him. Zhang Chen's luck value 5,000. I ask you again, did you write this diary? Mo Yuan said this with a hint of murderous intent. Zhang Chen was stunned for a moment, a little frightened by Mo Yuihan's cold gaze. He quickly realized that Mo Yuan must have misunderstood something, so he said anxiously, Did Mr. Demon Venerable misunderstand something? Misunderstand? Mo Yuan suddenly felt a little funny. Does the other party mean to mock himself for being so sentimental? He. Mo Yuan sneered, but even though it was a sneer, it still had a charming attribute, just like it was natural. Do you know how much we will pay for attacking Ruo Qiange this time? Mo Yuan said calmly. How big is it? Zhang Chen said cautiously. Because I wanted to frame Ruo Qiange, I lost the 3 holy waters that I should have secured. Mo Yuan said. If such a big mistake happened, she would definitely be punished by Lord Ancient Demon. As for the initiator of this incident, Zhang Chen, she had never resented him. The 3 holy waters are lost. Zhang Chen immediately wiped the cold sweat from his forehead. This is not a trivial matter. If it is not handled well, his head will definitely fall off. Master Demon Venerable, you must help your subordinates. Zhang Chen immediately knelt down to Mo Yuan with a plop. He is Mo Yuihan's savior. Zhang Chen believes that he will definitely save him. Well, Mo Yuan originally wanted to continue scolding him, but when he saw the other party's appearance, he couldn't help but feel a little soft. He waved his hand and said, Okay. Get up, it's okay. Hearing this, Zhang Chen breathed a sigh of relief, as long as his life could be saved. But, Mo Yuan suddenly turned cold. After making such a big mistake, you still want to be a good person and bring your junior sister back to show your personal charm? Isn't this a bit too much? Ah. Senior brother, there's nothing wrong with taking care of junior sister. Zhang Chen scratched his head. Haha. I made you Zhang Chen want to be a good person. Mo Yuan sneered in his heart. A sharp dagger appeared in his hand, threw it to the ground, pointed at the dagger and said with a joking smile. Haha. Since Protector Zhang wants to show off his personal charm so much, then I have to take a look, in your heart, who is more important, you or your dear junior sister? Master Demon Venerable, what does this mean? Looking at the direction pointed by Mo Yuhan's finger, Zhang Chen suddenly felt a bad feeling in his heart and couldn't help but swallow his saliva. Mo Yuan licked his lips and smiled charmingly. Haha, I want you to take a knife and cut off your junior sister's tongue. Ah. Zhang Chen was immediately dumbfounded. When Su Rui heard this, her face turned even pale, and she knelt down with a plop, kowtowing crazily towards Mo Yuan. Master Demon Venerable, I was wrong. I didn't mean to call you an old witch before. Mo Yuan. If the other party hadn't reminded her, she would have almost forgotten about it. The reason why she proposed to cut Su Rui's tongue before was not because she had any grudge against her. He just wanted to punish Zhang Chen. Don't you want to be a good senior brother? Don't you want to establish a good persona in front of your junior sisters? I just can't do what you want. Zhang Chen also knelt down with a plop. Master Demon Venerable, please come to me if anything happens, and don't embarrass my little junior sister. Junior sister? Mo Yuan raised his eyebrows, feeling a little uncomfortable. After calming down, he held his cheek and showed a playful smile. Okay. It's okay if I don't cut hers, then I'll cut yours. When Zhang Chen heard this, he immediately shuddered, raised his head and looked at Mo Yuan with an expression of disbelief. What's wrong? Didn't you say you want to be nice to your junior sister? Is it because she is unwilling to do such a small thing? Mo Yuan held his chin and chuckled. Su Rui also looked at Zhang Chen, feeling a little uncomfortable in her heart. She gritted her teeth and said, Senior brother Zhang, it's okay. Just cut my tongue. I won't die anyway. Zhang Chen shook his head and looked at Mo Yuan seriously. Master Demon Venerable, please cut me off. Okay. Mo Yuan nodded. Let's do it. Master Demon Venerable, I am standing here. If you want my tongue or even my life, then you can come and get it at any time, Zhang Chen said calmly. Mo Yuan smiled coldly, waved her hand and an invisible coercion fell directly on Zhang Chen. Haha. If you really think that you are my savior, then I won't do anything to you. I don't dare, Zhang Chen said through gritted teeth despite the pressure. Haha. I think you are very brave. Mo Yuan waved his skirt and a strong wind fell directly on Zhang Chen's body, slapping him to the ground. Pick up a dagger and cut your own tongue, or use a dagger to cut your junior sister's tongue. If you let me do it and you want to be a good person, then your dear little junior sister will not be missing a tongue. Haha. Mo Yuan cupped his cheek and smiled jokingly. This. Zhang Chen was immediately hurt and dumbfounded. He really didn't expect that Demon Venerable would not follow the rules. So what to do now? Master Demon Venerable, do you really want to be so heartless? Zhang Chen looked at Demon Yuan with some reluctance. Haha, if you haven't done anything good yet, you want to bring a junior sister back to pretend to be a doting elder brother. How can such a good thing happen? Mo Yuhan said with a smile. Senior brother, it's okay. You should cut my tongue out. After all, this incident happened because of me, and I caused you. Su Rui looked at Zhang Chen with a guilty look on her face, whispered. This. After hearing this, Zhang Chen looked at Su Rui with a tangled look on his face, as if he was struggling. After nearly a stick of incense, he sighed. Junior sister, I am sorry for you. I am a man destined to stand at the top of this world, but I cannot suffer this for you. As he spoke, he picked up the dagger at his feet, with determination in his eyes, and slowly walked towards Su Rui. Yes, he is a man destined to stand on the top of the mountain. How can he do it without his tongue? Relying on spiritual power to create a fake tongue to talk to people? What will others think of him? Treat him as a disabled person? Who is Zhang Chen? The pride in his heart does not allow him to be an imperfect person. It is necessary for everyone to respect his existence. And what should a girl like a fairy queen do without her tongue? Wouldn't she look down on him? Then how could he fulfill his great dream? Therefore, Zhang Chen would never allow such a thing to happen, and could only aggrieve Su Rui. Brother. You. Seeing Zhang Chen slowly walking towards her with a dagger in his hand, Su Rui's beautiful eyes trembled and she looked at him in disbelief. How could that happen? How could this happen? Senior brother Zhang really chose to cut out his own tongue. Su Rui was very frightened and horrified. Didn't he say that he pampered himself? Didn't he pamper himself to the point of death? But why do you do this? Su Rui was sure that if it were Ruo Qiange, he would definitely cut off his tongue for her without hesitation. But why did Zhang Chen change when he came here? Didn't he say that he would pamper himself? Would he do more to pamper him than Ruo Qiange? How could this happen? She thought she would get her wish by performing a trick in front of her doting senior brother, but she never imagined that it would be like this. Senior brother Zhang, you. Before Su Rui could finish her words, Zhang Chen grabbed his tongue and cut it off with lightning speed. He raised the knife and dropped it, and there was a piece of bright red meat still squirming on the ground. Woo 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 woo. Su Rui was about to cry in pain. She put her hands into her mouth and screamed in pain. She seemed to want to say woo, my tongue, but she couldn't say a word at all and kept sobbing. He could only sit on the ground and cry in pain. She raised her head and looked at Zhang Chen crying, with disbelief and grievance in her eyes. She really didn't believe that her senior brother would really do anything to her. Zhang Chen didn't dare to look directly into Su Rui's aggrieved and crying eyes. He turned his head away and said apologetically, I'm sorry, junior sister. I also want to cut off my tongue for you. But I really can't cut off my own tongue. Yes, you can't blame him, he really can't cut off his tongue. Who is he? People who are born with the blessing of great luck. You can pick up 1,000-year-old elixirs just by walking around, and it's not a problem to fight across levels. After pretending to be cool, he met a powerful enemy and jumped off a bottomless cliff when his life was hanging by a thread. Everyone thought he was dead, but he did not die. Instead, he fell into a mysterious cave, and this cave, it turned out to be the cave mansion of the immortal family left over from ancient times. A blessing in disguise. He is a man favored by heaven, and he is so handsome. He is destined to stand at the top and enchant all living beings in the future. How can he lose his tongue? So you really can't blame him, haha, but the love between brother and sister is really deep. Mo Yuan looked at this scene and couldn't help but clicked his tongue. Master Demon Venerable, are you satisfied now? Zhang Chen turned his head and glanced at Demon Yuan with a cold look. He is very resentful towards Mo Yuan now. If it hadn't been for her, the junior sister would not have lost her tongue. She was the initiator of everything. Mad, you're like a dog, how dare you look at me? Mo Yuan immediately became angry, appeared in front of Zhang Chen, and slapped him away. In the next second, Zhang Chen's whole body spun 360 degrees and fell to the ground. Who turned off the light? Feeling dizzy, Zhang Chen felt his whole head was buzzing. Zhang Chen's luck value 2000. Mo Yuan stretched out his delicate white hands, with a cold look in his eyes, wanting to end Zhang Chen's life. From his perspective on life, punishing a subordinate in this way can easily make the other person hold a grudge, which is absolutely unacceptable. But when she saw Zhang Chen's extremely handsome face, she paused again and felt a little reluctant to do it. After all, this was her savior, and he was also the first man she had ever had sex with. He couldn't be emotionless, and she still couldn't do it. Mo Yuan turned his head and glanced at Zhang Chen, sighed and left these words, "Go away, I am tired." After saying that, he stood on the throne and closed his eyes. After Zhang Chen realized what happened, he raised his eyes and glanced at Mo Yuan calmly. "I saved your life, but I didn't expect you to be so cruel and ruthless. You insulted me again and again without thinking about old feelings. First you cut off my little junior sister's tongue, and then you hit me directly. Since you treat me like this, don't blame me for not missing our old feelings in the future. Okay. I'm resigning." Zhang Chen stood up, patted the dust on his clothes, cupped his hands towards Mo Yuan with a smile on his face, then picked up Su Rui's body and retreated. Let me go. I can walk by myself. Su Rui looked at the face that seemed a bit unfamiliar to her, and said coldly with a false tongue formed by spiritual power. Haha, junior sister, are you angry with me? Zhang Chen showed a smile. Su Rui did not speak, but sniffed aggrievedly. Is this what you said about pampering me fiercely? Pampering me to death? Is this death in a physical sense? Suddenly, Su Rui missed Ruo Qiange a little. After Zhang Chen took Su Rui back to the room, he left some elixirs for him and left in a hurry. He must work hard to become stronger and do whatever it takes to become stronger. Then take revenge on those who have hurt you, master, senior sister, sect leader, and the 3,000 disciples of Ziyang sect. You are all so good. You all betrayed me for that bitch. And Master Demon Venerable, you have promoted me. I was very touched by you originally, but I didn't expect you to treat me like this, haha. A strange smile appeared at the corner of Zhang Chen's mouth, and his walking pace became a little faster. Looking at Zhang Chen's leaving figure, Su Rui sniffed in disbelief. Just leave. There was a hint of trembling in her voice. If it were senior brother Qian, he would definitely be waiting by her side with a concerned look on his face at this moment. He would not even cut her tongue, but would choose to cut his own. She immediately realized that senior brother Zhang and senior brother Qian's favors were somewhat different. Because she had only been pampered by Ruo Qiange before, she thought that pampering someone meant being the same as Ruo Qiange. As a result, it was obvious that she was wrong. Senior brother Qian's love for her is unique, selfless, and extremely affectionate. Only now did she realize how much senior brother Qian loved her. Senior brother Qian, I really miss you. Su Rui was lying on the table, and the artificial tongue made of light red spiritual power allowed her to cry and talk at the same time. Aware of Su Rui's guilt and sadness, revenge points plus 400. Ruo Qiange heard the voice in her head and slowly opened her eyes. After giving me so many points of revenge, this woman must have been wronged in some way? So she thought it was time to have her own time. Ruo Qiange speculated. Then, he closed his eyes again and continued practicing. Time flies and years pass by. Soon it will be 6 years later. What surprised Ruo Qiange was that his cheap master said he would leave for a while, but he didn't come back for 6 years. Only a small part of the large bottle of pills he gave him was left. And he has not been idle these years, and his realm has reached the early stage of Daohe realm. You know, he is only 6 years old now. He can cultivate to such a state. Even the first genius in the lower domain in 10,000 years had to break through to the Daohe realm when he was 9 years old. He immediately broke this record. Moreover, it took nearly half the time, which can be described as a monster. By the way, who is that genius who reached the Daohe state at the age of 9? He is so powerful, he must be a handsome young man. Ruo Qiange thought for a while. Oh, it turns out to be me in the previous life. He finally remembered. However, although he was practicing, he was simply improving his realm and did not delve into the techniques, so the Diamond Sutra was still at the introductory stage. As for revenge, the system also made a summary of some roles. Hua Qingyan provided a total of 21,802 revenge points in 6 years. Su Rui provided a total of 115,071 revenge points in 6 years. Yi Qingxue provided a total of 921,156 revenge points in 6 years. The last one is even more heavyweight. Leng Huaning provided a total of 2,249,919 revenge points in 6 years. Ruo Qiange herself was startled when she heard the last item. Are you obsessed with yourself so deeply? Even after 6 years, you are still providing yourself with a lot of revenge points. What a nice guy. Ruo Qiange always feels that the other party will think of her every day no matter what she does. Otherwise, why would she still be able to provide herself with so many revenge points after so long? On average, there are nearly 1,000 revenge points a day. Ruo Qiange didn't think this was very small at all. After all, this point of revenge was provided to myself without any stimulation from myself. What does this mean? It shows that she has always been deeply indebted to herself, and she is still thinking about herself all the time every day, automatically making up for her disappointment, and even remembering every inch of her body. Ruo Qiange swallowed. It's a little scary, it's been 6 years. Ruo Qiange suddenly thought of 2 words in her mind, yandere. I wonder what they are doing now. By the way, how is Zhang Chen's luck now? Host, Zhang Chen's current luck value is 2,125,415 points. Ruo Qiange frowned. Why did you suddenly improve so quickly? There is a lot of pressure on Zhang Chen. This pressure may be resentment and wanting to take revenge on certain people, which prompts him to work hard and move forward, so he encounters many opportunities. Show me who provided him with all his luck. Approximate distribution of Zhang Chen's luck. Ancient Demon accounts for 1,592,821. Demon Venerable from the Ancient Realm accounts for 221,162. Empress Tianwei Immortal Dynasty accounts for 114,514. Princess of the Nine-Tailed Demon Fox Clan accounts for 88,217. Saintess of the Qinglian Sect accounts for 77,721. And there are some scattered ones. I won't mention the scattered ones. Ruo Qiange fell into deep thought for a moment. I remember, didn't Mo Yuihan's luck for Zhang Chen drop from hundreds of thousands to just tens of thousands? Why is it now increasing instead of decreasing, and providing nearly double the luck? Ruo Qiange asked puzzledly. I don't know. Ruo Qiange, ahem. He cleared his throat. In your humble opinion? If I exchange all my revenge points into elixirs to improve my cultivation, can I resist Zhang Chen and his forces on my own? I see you are lighting a lantern in the toilet. What do you mean? Ruo Qiange asked confused. Court death. Ruo Qiange. What about adding my cheap master? It still doesn't work. He can only hold back the ancient demon who is his counterpart, and Zhang Chen still has many helpers. What's more, his current strength has already reached the semi-immortal realm. Even if you forcefully take medicine to improve his realm, if you go up, it will be difficult to defeat the opponent. On the contrary, it will make your own realm inflated, cut off your potential, and the gain will not be worth the loss. Ruo Qiange did not continue speaking, but began to think carefully. With the blessing of my 2 treasure bones, my cultivation speed is faster than Zhang Chen. As time goes by, the gap with the other party will only become smaller and smaller. The best thing to do now is to wait for a while with the other party to develop each other. Correct. Ziyang sect has also undergone many changes in these years. Leng Huaning left the Ziyang sect half a year after Ruo Qiange's death. According to her words, it is necessary to practice at a deeper level to achieve the effect of realm breakthrough. Naturally, she also brought the ice coffin that sealed Ruo Qiange. I remember one day before. A gorgeous girl wearing thin clothes came to the Ziyang sect, and all the young and energetic young people in the Ziyang sect were stunned to see her. I'm here to see Ruo Qiange, the Oran said. Senior brother Qian. He is dead. The disciples sighed. Died? The Oran was a little in disbelief. But he still owes me a favor. At this time Leng Huaning appeared. Since Qian Zhe owes you a favor, let me repay it on her behalf, Leng Huaning said. But when she noticed the Aran's appearance, she was stunned on the spot. Isn't this the Oran Qiange is looking for? Why do you think Qiange owes her a favor? Could it be? Leng Huaning seemed to have thought of something. Her eyes dimmed, and there was autumn water flowing in her eyes. Liar. And said you don't like her. Woo woo woo. Leng Huaning covered her face and cried. Leng Huaning was injured by the host. Revenge points plus 5000. Looking at Leng Huaning, who was squatting on the ground and crying sadly, the Oran was stunned for a moment at first, then came to his senses and walked to squat down in front of Leng Huaning. He smiled and said, I think Miss Leng may have misunderstood something. So, the Oran told everything that happened that day, especially when Ruo Qiange saw Master Kong Kong trying to attack Leng Huaning. She punched him to the ground and pulled up his collar. Face's words. Only I can bully her, understand? Was described emphatically. Leng Huaning's fair and pretty face turned red when she heard this. She didn't expect that Ruo Qiange would secretly save her when she was sleeping, and said softly, You are not lying to me. What am I trying to do by lying to you? The Oran shared her memories of that day with Leng Ning. When she saw that Ruo Qianzhi really saved her and cared about her, she opened her beautiful eyes wide and froze in place, her tears no longer coming. Unable to stop it, it slipped quietly from her fair and beautiful face. Aware of Leng Wanning's guilt caused by being moved by her host, revenge points plus 5888. As for that demon bone, I remember there was another night. Leng Huaning stared at the bone for a long time. Is this demon bone really as powerful as Mo Yuan said? Can it really have the ability to conquer the three holy waters without a single blow? If this is really the case, then the day when I can meet you will be faster, right? He. After Ruo Qianzhi's death, Yi Qingshui spent 3 years in solitary confinement. Hua Qingyan went to see her at least 100 times, but she always rejected her. When she came out, her Taoist mind was already in disorder. Well, if there is no big accident, I will probably stop at half immortal in this life and will not make any progress. His personality has also become taciturn, and he always likes to stare at one place in a daze for a long time. There is no direct disciple under her that needs her to take care of. First, the traitor Zhang Chen left. Then Ruo Qianzhi passed away. Then Su Rui left. And in the end even Leng Wanning, who had been with her the longest, also left. She became completely alone. On weekdays, I just look at the daily lives of the disciples, staring at the flowers, trees, and some old things in a daze. What? Are you telling me about cultivation? It is impossible to practice cultivation. She will never practice again in this life. As her song says, what's the use of having a higher realm? Without the meaning of existence, it will become worthless. As for Su Rui, he has always been targeted by Mo Yuan, and his mental state is not very good. He often talks about senior brother Qian and senior brother Qian, which seems to be a bit crazy. Except for Ruo Qianzhi, who gave her warmth. The rest of the people in this world always brought her endless malice. Her life in the ancient world was not comfortable and she had many grievances. She missed the days when senior brother Qian was here very much. She just didn't know where to go if she stayed by Zhang Chen's side, and Zhang Chen was pretty good to her. Although, maybe a little bit worse than senior brother Qian. This day, Ruo Qianzhi sat cross-legged and practiced as usual. He currently has more than 1 million revenge points. In the past few years, he has spent nearly 2 million revenge points to exchange some heavenly materials and earthly treasures to temper his body, and also exchanged some pills to increase the speed of cultivation. Although his current cultivation level is only a small Daohe realm, his physical strength is definitely comparable to that of ordinary Spirit Ascension Emperor realm monks. And parts like the left leg bone and right hand bone are stronger, and their strength and hardness are comparable to those of ordinary half-immortals. Ruo Qianzhi really wanted to say something. Alas, how lonely it is to be invincible. There is no way, at the age of 7, Xiao Xiao has reached a height that most people will never reach in their lifetime. He has this arrogant capital. But what made him speechless was that 7 years had passed and the master still hadn't come back. Master? Ruo Qianzhi suddenly opened her eyes and found that an old man with a white beard was standing in front of him, looking at him with a smile on his face. The little guy's perception is pretty good. He should be at the divine sovereign level. He is indeed the man I like. Supreme Venerable stroked his beard and praised. If Qian Zhe took a large amount of heavenly materials and earthly treasures, his mental strength would also be greatly improved. Ruo Qianzhi should have been very happy when he heard the praise, but for some reason he always felt that something was wrong. Mud. Does this old man have any strange habits? Ruo Qianzhi shrank her neck in fear. Hey, your cultivation has reached the Tao Harmony stage? Supreme Venerable said with some surprise. Ruo Qianzhi didn't hide anything and nodded. Good. Supreme Venerable nodded with satisfaction. Even if you cooperate with the elixir I gave you, the ideal state is to reach the early stage of Tao He at the age of 7 or 8. As a result, the aura on your body now should be at the level of the late stage of Tao He. Haha, it's just good luck. If Qian Zhe is telling the truth, the reason why he improved so quickly is because he took a particularly expensive pill not long ago, which allowed him to reach the late stage of Daohe realm in such a short period of time. Supreme Venerable raised his eyebrows. Although Ruo Qiange said this very modestly, he didn't know why he always felt a little unhappy when he heard it, giving people a feeling of being indebted. Supreme Venerable suppressed the thought of hitting someone in his heart and cleared his throat. Ahem. Are there any traces of revival of the immortal bones in your body? According to my ideal state, if there is a chance to revive, it can be within 100. It was completed within 20 years, and now 6 years have passed, and there should be some initial reactions. Already revived. Ruo Qiange smiled slightly and said this answer that Venerable could not expect. What? Supreme Venerable blinked his eyes in disbelief. His consciousness swept over Ruo Qiange's body, and the look of surprise on his face suddenly became more intense. He couldn't believe it, so he grabbed Ruo Qiange's hand and felt his pulse. It took him a while to recover. It turns out to be true, and it seems to be even stronger. Then the way Venerable looked at Ruo Qiange suddenly changed, as if he were looking at a treasure. Ruo Qiange couldn't help but be a little scared. Why does this old man look at himself like this? Just as he was thinking about it, Supreme Venerable patted Ruo Qiange on the shoulder. You are indeed the man I like. You are very good. Then he took out a root-like herb full of fine tendrils from the spiritual ring and said with a smile, "This is a rock root that has been around for thousands of years. Because of the abundant spiritual energy in the place where it grew, it has grown into a semi-divine medicine. It will be a miracle medicine in a few hundred years, but we can't wait that long, so we can only pick him up first. Master has been away for so many years just to find this for me?" Ruo Qiange looked at Supreme Venerable with some emotion. He really made me cry to death. 7 years. Do you know how many things can be done in 7 years? Master actually spent so much precious time in order to make himself stronger. No, this one was found thousands of years ago, but it has been kept. Supreme Venerable smiled slightly. Ruo Qiange. Ahem. Go back to the pool in the cave mansion. I'll help you remove the impurities from your body and lay the foundation for the future. The Supreme Master cleared his throat and said seriously. Ruo Qiange actually wanted to say that I have already tempered my body, and I used fairy medicine to temper my chain, but it is much better than this little magical medicine. But he still didn't say it. First, because the system is so horrifying to say that you won't believe it at all. The second is that he is afraid that Venerable will be too malicious. The allure of the elixir is extremely huge. Even for the Supreme Venerable, it is a rare existence. It is difficult to be sure whether he will have any thoughts. After all, although they are said to be master and apprentice, they have not known each other for a long time and do not have much friendship. Another 7 years. At this time, Ruo Qiange was already at the peak of the divine sovereign realm. Taishang Venerable left again less than a month after returning 7 years ago. So irresponsible, however, even though I left, I still left behind a lot of natural resources and treasures. I still have a sense of responsibility, but not much. After so many years, I wonder how Zhang Chen is doing now. He missed Zhang Chen a little bit. Of course, this idea is just to kill him. If Qian Zhe discovers that he still misses Zhang Chen so much, he just doesn't know if there will be any repercussions. Zhang Chen has already entered the early stage of land immortality. If he encounters another opportunity recently, he is likely to reach the middle stage. Ruo Qiange was a little dumbfounded. Was the other party so fast? Unexpectedly, he turned out to be a fast man. Zhang Chen only entered the path of cultivation when he was 9 years old. If he hadn't been like this, he would have been a mid to late stage land immortal by this time. What's his luck? 3,218,856 points. Ruo Qiange doesn't need to check the details. After all, he knows with his butt that it must be the heroine in 114,514 who is providing him with luck points. There must be many more powerful heroines, or they have strong backgrounds. And these past 7 years, Hua Qingyan provided 16,527 revenge points. Su Rui provided 278,811 revenge points. Yi Qingshui provided 1,455,217, and Lang Huaning provided 3221115. In the second 7 years, it did not decrease but increased, which was simply terrifying. I didn't expect that the heroines would be so obsessed with him. At the same time, he was also a little scared. Wouldn't these heroines get sick if they were like this? I miss myself more and more, but I am already a dead person. Will he become a yandere? Open my panel properties. Host. Ruo Qiange Physique. Emperor Dragon Emperor Supreme Bone, Ancient Beast Emperor Supreme Bone. Skill. Diamond Sutra. Upper Realm Intermediate Heaven Level. Basic Accomplishment. Note. The host has a 1000-fold bonus, proficiency ranking. Beginner, Basic Accomplishment, Great Accomplishment, Trance, Summit, True Truth. Shadowless Wind and Thunder, Body and Martial Arts, Upper Realm Heaven Level Intermediate, Great Accomplishment. Realm. Peak of Divine Sovereign Realm Revenge Point, 3178812. Now that I have such strength, I should be able to make a comeback, Ruo Qiange murmured to himself. He has been practicing alone for more than 10 years, and he only has the system, a bastard, who can talk to him. It is indeed quite boring. I didn't dare to go down the mountain before because I was afraid that I would not be strong enough to do anything and would be tied up, and there was also the possibility of being beaten to death. Now he has no such scruples. The strong semi-immortal is as easy as killing a chicken in front of him. Even in the early stage of facing the land gods, he can have the upper hand. In the middle stage, he has the power to fight against the land gods. If he opens the Diamond Sutra, he can even gain the upper hand. Counting the advantages of 2 supreme bones and 3 bones, he can already beat the land god late stage. Ruo Qiange feels a little like she is the son of destiny, with such a strong ability in Vietnam. Of course, this is also because he spent a lot of revenge points to improve his realm and temper his physique. It was created by his efforts to abuse the heroine, and it is still far different from the child of destiny. Just like Zhang Chen came to a wild place and could pick up a 1000-year-old or even universal elixir by just walking around. Ruo Qiange was very sure that he couldn't do it. After leaving a letter page behind, Ruo Qiange left the cave mansion and turned into a stream of light that quickly swept away into the distance. As for the content of the letter, Cellmaster, I miss you. I have been waiting for you for 7 years and you still haven't come back. I can only leave cave mansion with tears in my eyes. I hope you won't hit me when you come back. Although Ruo Qiange was reincarnated, his appearance was the same as in his previous life. In order to prevent unnecessary trouble, he spent 100,000 revenge points to exchange for a bronze mask that could conceal his breath. The bronze mask was engraved with simple lines, giving people a deep feeling, and Ruo Qiange was quite satisfied with it. Wearing this mask when going out can make others feel afraid of you, or at least make you feel uneasy and uncomfortable. Ruo Qiange feels that it suits her personality very well. After inquiring about his location at a villa, Ruo Qiange quickly found the imperial capital and walked to a restaurant to drink. Restaurants are a place where people usually discuss current hot topics, and it is also the fastest way to get information. Ruo Qiange took a sip of the wine in the teacup and listened to the comments of the guests around her. Did you hear that? There was a capable eunuch among the eunuchs in the palace, and Princess Changla was killed by the cruel Huo. That's not right. How did I hear that Princess Changla took the initiative? You are the royal family who said this on purpose to save face. Yes, that eunuch is the admiral of the West Factory. He is very powerful and handsome. I think Princess Changla fell in love with him and discovered the secret of his uncleanness, so she used it to blackmail him. He makes skin-to-skin contact with himself. Then was he quartered by 5 horses? Or was he executed by Ling Kai? The Yi tribe or the Zhu tribe? He is not dead. There is a secret report that he was secretly rescued by the Queen Mother. Ruo Qiange frowned. You're still alive after committing such a thing? So powerful? It's like cheating. If this eunuch were replaced by him, he would definitely not survive 2 days. Admiral Shichang. Okay, I've written it down. If Qianzhe silently remembers the other person's name, such a person will definitely do something great in the future. There is another more important matter, related to our life and death. There were voices of discussion around again, and Ruo Qiange's ears immediately pricked up. The Great Martial Sovereign Dynasty, the Great Wei Immortal Dynasty, and the barbarians in the south formed a unified force overnight. At the same time, they led a large army to invade our border, catching us off guard and breaking through several cities. What are you afraid of? Our Tianwei Immortal Dynasty is so powerful, no matter whether they are in alliance or not, they will be defeated by my Tianwei's cavalry. Tianwei Immortal Dynasty has a powerful cavalry army with hundreds of thousands of people, divided into left, center and right armies, trained and led by a young genius using special methods. As long as the number of enemies is within 3 times and the level is similar, there has never been a defeat. Yes, this is not the first time that the Alliance has attacked us. Which time have they not been defeated by us and fought back? It's just that this time they are more ferocious. No. This time it's different. The monster race gang in the Forbidden Forest got into trouble for some reason. A few days ago, the army suddenly approached Hilan Pass. Not only did they restrain the 2 generals Tang Feng and Li Qi, but they also the cavalry of the left and right armies were restrained. The most terrible thing is that this group of monster race has also held back more than a dozen strong semi-immortals and several land immortal protectors, as well as several super sects and more than a dozen top sects. More than half of our immortal dynasty's combat power is invested in suppressing the monster race. The remaining troops are simply not enough to deal with their combined forces. It's obvious that these defeated generals dare to send out troops in such a big way, just to give us a head-to-head fight while we are busy dealing with monster race. Then what should we do? What do you think you are doing with these troublesome things, Mud? It makes the chicken drumsticks in my hand no longer smell good. Don't worry, there is a strange man in Immortal Dynasty who has good relations with several top forces in Monster Race. He has volunteered to negotiate with Monster Race. With his presence, the chance of successful negotiation is at least nearly 90%. Oh, I didn't expect that Immortal Dynasty, would have such a strange man. I don't know his name? His name is Zhang Chen. Ruo Qiange has already made plans. Zhang Chen must not be allowed to successfully persuade Monster Race to withdraw, otherwise it will definitely greatly increase his luck value and greatly increase his prestige in Immortal Dynasty. With this thought, Ruo Qiange left the imperial capital and rushed towards the Forbidden Forest. It took half a day to reach the depths of the forest. Monster Race is not as barbaric as he imagined. These high-level monsters are self-aware and can freely transform into the most advanced human form after reaching the Taohei state. There are also many towns here, but there is no immortal dynasty established, but the territory is divided by race. The 3 largest races in Monster Race are the Abyss Green Python, the Blazing King Kong, and the 9-tailed Demon Fox. They occupy 30% of Monster Race's territory. They belong to the 3 giants in Monster Race. The rest are divided into dozens of ethnic groups, large and small. The 3 major races have a vast territory and are bordered by each other. There is a city on this bordering land. This city is the political center of the Monster Race, where matters of all sizes are discussed. At this time, Zhang Chen represents Tianwei. Immortal Dynasty, the envoy lives here, waiting for representatives of other monster races, big and small, to arrive. This is the news that Ruo Qiange found out from some monsters. But how to sneak in? You have to think of a way. Now he is still waiting for the monster race representative to arrive. It should take about a day or 2. Zhang Chen doesn't know what happened. He did not choose to live in the Demon Palace, but quietly found a room outside. The inn. Ruo Qiange also came to this inn. She originally wanted to live in the room next to him, but it had already been occupied by someone else. Ruo Qiange had no choice but to ask for a room that was separated by a few walls from him. Ruo Qiange was lying on the bed, thinking about what to do next. But after thinking about it for a long time, I still couldn't think of any good way to sneak into Monster Race. Haha, since I can't think of a way, why not go see what Zhang Chen is doing at this time? The breakthrough may be here. Ruo Qiange was stunned for a moment, then after thinking about it, he realized it made sense. Yes, system. Do you have any elixirs or masks to shield the aura? Lower domain. Heaven-grade breath-holding pill. System special. It can make oneself invisible and cover all one's breath. No one can detect it under Celestial Immortal. It lasts for half an hour and can end early. The price is 1,000 revenge points. Well, exchange it for me. Ruo Qiange nodded. Although it is a little expensive, it is a necessary expense and there is nothing you can do about it. Revenge points remaining. 3,177,812. Ruo Qiange took the breath-holding pill and quietly slipped out of Zhang Chen's room. I listened carefully to the sounds inside for a while. Um? Why is there a wheezing sound inside? Ruo Qiange blinked. Is it Zhang Chen who is practicing? But this wheezing sound is a bit feverish. Zhang Chen must be doing something. Wouldn't that be? Ruo Qiange showed a strange smile and appeared in the room without hesitation. After appearing in the room, sure enough, there were two swaying figures on the bed. Ruo Qiange quickly set his sights on the fair-skinned woman and looked at her carefully. The woman's complexion is fair, and her charming face is full of charm, which is very moving. Coupled with her excellent figure, she is fat where she should be and slim where she should be thin, which makes her even more attractive. Zhang Chen, how could you do this to me? When the master of the house finds out, he won't let you go. The woman hugged Zhang Chen's neck, blushing and panting. It's okay. At worst, I will marry you and I will be responsible for you, Zhang Chen said affectionately. Hee. Ruo Qiange watched this scene and was amused. Will I be responsible for you? There are 114,514 heroines around this big stallion. Ruo Qiange doesn't think he will be a responsible person. At the same time, Ruo Qiange, who was watching this scene, also felt a little angry in his heart. I have to say that this little snake girl is very smooth. No wonder she is targeted by the big stallion. Although she knows that she is a snake, she doesn't know which race it is. He also wanted to catch one and play with it. Ruo Qiange was wondering whether to go up and beat Zhang Chen up. But think about it and forget it. Although he can beat Zhang Chen, what can he do if he can beat him? This is the territory of monster race after all, and there are ancient demons behind Zhang Chen. Who knows if they will suddenly appear next to Zhang Chen? After all, this is a routine operation that happens to children of destiny. After Ruo Qiange thought about the countermeasures for a while, he took out a recording stone, injected spiritual power and began to record the scene. Zhang Chen, if I gave this image stone to the heroines around you to watch, how would they react? Jia Jia Jia. HMPH. I don't believe your nonsense. Are there still fewer girls around you? The woman blushed and rolled her eyes at Zhang Chen angrily. Zhang Chen was stunned at first, and then said righteously, Zhao King, you misunderstood me. I really like you. I am not the kind of person you think. Zhang Chen was a little strange. He clearly didn't tell Yao Qing that there were many girls around him who needed to be taken care of. How did she know? Zhang Chen was afraid that Yao Qing would be jealous, so he never told Yao Qing that he had many heroines around him, but was waiting for an opportunity. This time may be when the relationship develops to the point of deep affection. The little green snake can leave each other. Because he loves Zhang Chen so much, he is willing to have a few more good sisters. Of course, little green snake can be any heroine. This is Zhang Chen's ordinary plan on the road to conquering the beauty. If ordinary tactics don't work, and the heroine of the guide is very arrogant and can't overcome that hurdle, then she just needs to wait until Zhang Chen becomes extremely powerful and forcefully retain her. The heroine might be very angry, and then Zhang Chen said some very affectionate words to conquer the heroine's heart. If it doesn't work for 1 day, it will take 10 days. If it doesn't work for 10 days, it will take 100 days. If it doesn't work for 100 days, it will take 10 years or even hundreds of years. After thousands of years, the heroine will eventually fall in love and be moved by Zhang Chen. This is Zhang Chen's special skill. After using this skill, no heroine can't win. Ruo Qiange nodded. He was familiar with this routine. Yao Qing stretched out her fair hands to touch Zhang Chen's face, and said with a charming smile, Haha, don't I understand your temperament? You are just a pure pervert. She approached me in the first place because she was greedy for my body? Zhang Chen was stunned for a moment, then said righteously, Zhao King, you know, I am not this kind of person. I was attracted by your unique personality and charm. Haha, what unique personality do you think I have? Yao Qing smiled coldly. Zhang Chen suddenly felt a little embarrassed, and after thinking for a while he said, although you look like a very cold girl on the outside, you look very strong and proud all day long. But you are actually very weak on the inside. I feel so distressed, I just want to protect you. Ruo Qiange on the side was speechless hearing this. A normal person would be able to guess this. This so-called little green snake must be a direct bloodline of some big family or something. Otherwise Zhang Chen would definitely look down on him due to his urine, let alone promise to propose marriage. And growing up in such a big family, facing intrigues all day long, isn't it normal to cover up a fragile heart with a cold appearance in such an environment? Looking at Zhang Chen's extremely affectionate and moving eyes, a strange light appeared in Yao Qing's eyes. Yes. She usually looks like a cold, aloof, scheming, flirtatious but thorny rose. But this is just her self-protection to survive in the family. Who hasn't been innocent enough? Yao Qing quickly remembered the carefree and free time when she was a child under the protection of her elders. A line of clear tears fell from the corners of her eyes. Zhang Chen wiped Yao Qing's tears and said softly, "Don't be afraid of Xiao Qing. Let me protect you from now on." Feeling the warmth and tenderness coming from her big hands, Yao Qing couldn't hold back any longer and directly hugged Zhang Chen's back and cried against his chest. "Ooh, by your side. I'm fine now. I've completely fallen in love. Woo woo woo." Zhang Chen did not speak, but quietly stroked Yao Qing's silky hair. Zhang Chen's luck plus 5000. One of Zhang Chen's passive talents as a son of destiny. Which woman in the world doesn't love heroes? Zhang Chen, as a genius, has a unique personality and charm. The women who come into contact with him will spontaneously develop admiration for him. Emotion, because of admiration, will make up for his various actions, which is called wisdom for short. Haha, you will have something good to see next. Ruo Qiange smiled coldly, and after collecting enough evidence, disappeared into the room, returned to his room, sat cross-legged on the bed and thought about countermeasures. The reason why Zhang Chen was able to persuade Monster Race to cease fighting must be because he had the secret support of the Monster Race princess and other beauties. Ruo Qiange quickly figured out where Zhang Chen's confidence lies in persuading him to fight. But when these beauties are with the princess, won't they notice the strange feelings other women have towards Zhang Chen? Don't they suspect that Zhang Chen has any connection with other women? Yes, but even so, they may just feel a little uncomfortable. For the sake of the overall situation, they will still support Zhang Chen, and then ask Zhang Chen in private. Well, then Zhang Chen said some very affectionate words and did some intimate behaviors. Coupled with the halo of descending wisdom, the three-pronged approach led to the heroine not only not being angry with Zhang Chen, but also understanding. He even loves him more. I understand this trick. Ruo Qiange nodded. It's just that if I throw this photo stone out in front of everyone and let everyone in Monster Race see your true face, how should you respond? Ruo Qiange showed an evil smile. Let's not talk about whether your girlfriends will be stupid enough to forgive you. In any case, the peace talks this time will definitely not be successful. After all, Zhang Chen deceived the feelings of his own princess. These dozens of Monster Race he will never let Zhang Chen go and will directly kill him on the spot. However, as the son of destiny, Zhang Chen has a lot of trump cards, so he should not be able to die. However, dozens of monster races will never give up. They will pour out their anger on Tianwei Immortal Dynasty and attack with all their strength. When the time comes, Zhang Chen will become a sinner of Immortal Dynasty. At that time, not only will the Monster Race Princess drop your luck points, but the Empress will also drop it, the Holy Fairy, the Demon Venerable, the Ancient Demon, etc. will all drop. I don't think there is any idiot around you who will trust you without hesitation, will help you without any reservation? Ruo Qiange stretched her waist and held her chin, as for how to sneak into the Demon Palace. Perhaps he found a Monster Race princess or lady who had a relationship with Zhang Chen, gave her the photo stone, and asked him to take her into the palace to expose Zhang Chen's true face. However, Ruo Qiange quickly shook her head. This idea is not good. The poison in these heroines is so deep that it is very likely that in order to protect Zhang Chen's face, they choose to question each other in private instead of in person. In that case, the gain will outweigh the loss. Ruo Qiange thought for a while, and suddenly her eyes lit up as if she thought of something. As a son of destiny, Zhang Chen will definitely have many enemies around him, especially jealous love rivals. If you go to find them, they will definitely I wish I could take me into the palace to expose Zhang Chen, and I might even get a benefit from it. Ruo Qiange evoked an evil smile. He called a waiter. What orders do you have, sir? The waiter said respectfully. The inn can be used to inquire about information. Ruo Qiange was just about to ask Zhang Chen who his love rivals were, but suddenly something seemed to occur to him, so he shut his mouth and changed his words. It's okay. I just called him here out of boredom to tease you. Just playing. Waiter. He glanced at Ruo Qiange with some resentment, but after all, his identity was here, so he did not dare to get angry, and bowed. If your guest is fine, then I will leave first. Ruo Qiange nodded, and then his figure immediately disappeared from the place, leaving only the waiter alone in the wind. The reason why Ruo Qiange did not choose to ask for the exit was because Zhang Chen was nearby, and he was not sure whether the waiter in the shop would tell him about his inquiry in order to please Zhang Chen. So there is no need to take such risks. Ruo Qiange wandered around for a while and found a shop. The owner of this shop is an old man, calm and composed, and may know a lot of things. Old man, can you get some information here? Ruo Qiange walked into the shop and asked while looking at the meditating old man. Haha, there is no information in the world that cannot be found out. All that is available is how much money you have, the old man said leisurely with his eyes still closed and a smile on his lips. The breath is even and stable, the white robe is not stained by the mundane world, and he has an air of immortality. Ruo Qiange smiled slightly, took out a space storage bag and put it on the table. There are hundreds of high-grade spirit stones in it. These spiritual stones were naturally given to him by his master. The old man opened his eyes lightly and glanced at the bag with his consciousness. He seemed to notice something, and a look of wealth suddenly appeared on his tense face. He put the bag into his arms at lightning speed, and then she looked at Ruo Qiange warily, as if she was afraid that the other party would snatch her back. Ruo Qiange was immediately dumbfounded. If this little brother wants to ask anything, just ask. The old man must tell you as much as he knows. If you don't know, you have to ask the little brother. The old man wiped his hands and said with a smile. I want to ask about Zhang Chen. What love rivals does he have? Ruo Qiange hesitated for a while and said. Zhang Chen. Is the messenger of the immortal dynasty? Yes. Ruo Qiange nodded. I'm sorry, I don't know if he has any love rival. The old man sighed. Ruo Qiange was stunned. He had admired so many beautiful fairies, princesses, and goddesses. How could Zhang Chen not have a love rival? People who wanted to kill him could probably line up from here to the end of the continent. Could it be that he knew what he was doing was very unkind and was afraid of being resented by others, so he used a pseudonym or wore a mask? Then tell me about the second princess of the nine-tailed demon fox. Ruo Qiange thought for a while and then said. The nine-tailed demon fox princess provided Zhang Chen with a lot of luck. Moreover, her status is extraordinary and she must be admired by many people. Among them, there must be many powerful disciples of everyone's organization. The old man thought for a while and said, Then you asked the right question this time. A few years ago, my old lady chatted with me about the princess. As the second princess of the sovereign clan with a high status, she once had a relationship with the young clan leader of the Blazing King Kong. Kiss the baby. They also have a very good relationship with each other. They grew up together as childhood sweethearts. But what do you mean? It was a coincidence. Once the princess came to the world to play and was rescued by a human race boy when she was in a life or death crisis. She was fascinated by the human race boy and relied on the family's favor to force the marriage to break off a clan. This made the young leader of the Blazing King Kong extremely angry, but he had no choice but to grit his teeth and say harsh words, saying that he would cut this human race boy into pieces, and even issued a reward order. When the princess saw this, she was furious and completely broke with the young leader of the Blazing King Kong clan. Nine Tails Monster Race is the leader of the three giants and is the sovereign clan in Monster Race. After hearing what the old man said, Ruo Qiange called him a good guy in his heart. This classic green plum cannot resist the fall from the sky. Needless to say, it is the novelty and familiarity that are causing trouble. What was the name of the human race boy who saved the princess? Ruo Qiange asked. It seems to be called Zhang Qiange. What? Zhang Qiange? Ruo Qiange was stunned. What the hell is Zhang Chen doing? Why did he steal his name? Do you want to humiliate yourself even if you die? Do you think this is fun? Haha. Ruo Qiange sneered in her heart. Then do you know where the young patriarch of Raging Flame King Kong is? It should be in the Demon Palace. The old man thought for a while and said. Ruo Qiange was immediately disappointed when he heard this. It seems that he has to bear the pain and spend 1,000 revenge points to exchange for breath-holding pills, otherwise it will be difficult to sneak in. After all, although his Vietnam War ability is powerful, his realm is only at the peak of Divine Sovereign, and he can still be easily discovered. Gone. Ruo Qiange hands up and leaves. Arriving at the outskirts of the Demon Palace, Ruo Qiange took the elixir, then quietly jumped up the city wall and slipped in, starting to search the courtyards one by one. At first, he thought there was something unique about the Demon Palace. In fact, it was built almost the same as the Imperial Palace, but the name was just a little different. After Ruo Qiange eavesdropped on the conversation of the slaves for a while, she finally found the location of the young Flame King's courtyard and sneaked in. In the yard at this time, there was a young man in red sitting at the stone table, looking at the flowers and plants on the ground in a daze. This young man has an extraordinary temperament. If you guessed correctly, he is the right person for you. I just don't know what to say next. Ruo Qiange fell into hesitation for a moment. If you show up directly, you will probably disturb the other party, and it will be bad if you attract people. Although Ruo Qiange is confident that he can silence the other party in an instant, but after all, everything has a contingency, and as the young patriarch, the other party must have many life-saving and countermeasures. If possible, Ruo Qiange still wants to choose the safer option. Methods. Got it. I wonder if this kid recognizes Zhang Chen's appearance? Thinking of this, Ruo Qiange took out a shadow stone, injected spiritual power and threw it directly in front of the young man. After the image stone left Ruo Qiange's body, it lost its invisibility effect and appeared in the young man's sight. The young man's dazed gaze was attracted. As soon as he saw the image of the photo stone, his eyes suddenly lit up and he watched it with relish. Damn it, isn't this the arrogant and aloof young lady of the Qingmang family? I didn't expect that she has such a charming look. This big brother is awesome. The young man became more and more excited as he watched. If Qian Zhe finally understood, this silly boy didn't know Zhang Chen at all, and he seemed to be a little bit not very smart. A normal person's first reaction would be to feel vigilant when seeing this sudden stone, but this King Kong obviously did not think of this. I don't know if it's because the picture is too eye-catching. If Qian Zhe appeared behind the boy in an instant, she would slash his neck with a hand knife. The next second, the young man's eyes darkened and he fainted. The moment before he passed out, the only thought in the boy's mind was, who turned off the light? After a stick of incense, I was in a cave 100 miles outside the city. Ruo Qiange gave the boy 2 big dicks, and the boy's eyes opened drowsily. Who are you? The young man didn't seem to realize what happened. He only felt that the servant in front of him was strange. Do you want to kill Zhang Qiange? Ruo Qiange smiled slightly. Zhang Qiange. As soon as this name was mentioned, the boy's eyes suddenly became fierce. I can't wait to peel off his skin, suck his blood, eat his flesh, make his soul a slave forever, the young man said through gritted teeth, completely forgetting that he didn't know Ruo Qiange, which shows how much he hates it. Zhang Qiange. No, it's Zhang Chen. But is it because his identity is mysterious that you haven't been able to find him? Ruo Qiange asked again. Yes, brother, how do you know this? The young man said in surprise. Ruo Qiange did not answer the other party's words, but said excitedly, Okay, then I will tell you now that your opportunity is coming. What opportunity? The young man's eyes suddenly brightened, staring at Ruo Qiange with excitement. Looking at the expectant look in his eyes, Ruo Qiange felt a little stupid. He originally thought that the child was going to struggle violently, but he didn't expect that he didn't even notice that he had been kidnapped. How ruthless Zhang Chen is. But this is good, and it saves me a lot of time. The person inside the image stone is Zhang Qiange, and his real name is Zhang Chen. Ruo Qiange said with a smile. The young man who heard this was stunned for a moment, and then he exclaimed in surprise. What? Are you sure you didn't lie to me? The young man's eyes were fixed on Ruo Qiange. If it was true as the man in the bronze mask said, Wouldn't Mu Mei have been betrayed by Zhang Qiange? You don't have to be surprised. Ruo Qiange smiled slightly. Zhang Chen is messing around with women everywhere, and the people he messes with are all powerful ladies. He knows that he will easily be resented by others, so a pseudonym was used. The young man nodded first, then shook his head, staring at Ruo Qiange. Do you have any evidence? Why should I believe you? After all, you and I have never met. Ruo Qiange looked at the young man with firm eyes in shock. Has this child finally realized that he is a stranger? But why hasn't he realized that he has been kidnapped? Why does he really care about Zhang Chen so much? Love can breed hatred, but can it be the other way around? If it can, then it seems that he really loves Zhang Chen. Do you still remember the big incident of the theft of 3 holy waters 14 years ago? Ruo Qiange asked. The young man nodded. Of course I remember. After all, this is a matter of life and death. The senior brother Zhang Chen framed him for failed, so he became angry and resented him. When he had the opportunity to use a pseudonym, he changed his name to Zhang Qiange in order to take advantage of him. Ruo Qiange explained. The young man was stunned for a while, and seemed to think it made sense. He nodded. It does seem to be him, but isn't there a little too little evidence? Ruo Qiange was a little confused for a moment, and the other party seemed to be a little unconvinced. Just when he wanted to continue speaking, the young man spoke. But I don't care whether he is or not. Anyway, I would rather kill him by mistake than let him go. In accordance with the principle, this envoy of Tianwei Immortal Dynasty must be arrested. This shows how much he hates Zhang Chen. If Qiange can understand, this feeling of being bullied by someone who grew up together and loved each other as childhood sweethearts is really uncomfortable, and he understands it deeply. And his is the advanced version of PLS that was stabbed to death with a sword. But don't worry, this matter can't go wrong. Ruo Qiange smiled slightly. Do you know why Zhang Chen is confident that he can convince you? That our monster race army will retreat? Without waiting for the other party to answer, Ruo Qiange said, it's because we have the support of the 9-tailed demon fox princess, Tianyuan Green Python. These dozen monster race ladies, and these eldest ladies happen to be in the clan. Their status is extraordinary, they have a lot of say, blah 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 and so on. So this so-called negotiation talks about giving us a lot of benefits, but with the appearance of little lovers like Zhang Chen, they are very likely to let Tianwei Immortal Dynasty withdraw our troops without spending any resources for Zhang Chen. What's even more outrageous is that we may have to turn against each other. According to the routine, Ruo Qiange knew with his butt that this so-called crisis was just to show off to the Son of Destiny, so it was not unreasonable for him to say this. We still want to benefit from them. How is this possible? The young man's eyes widened immediately. Haha, we will know tomorrow whether it is yes or no. Ruo Qiange smiled slightly. If it is not what I said, it means that Zhang Chen was wronged and we will not hurt innocent people. If it is like what I said above, then haha. I'm going to throw this photo stone out accidentally. Ruo Qiange showed an evil smile. Okay, I'll do as you say. There was a hint of joy in the young man's eyes, and he patted Ruo Qiange on the shoulder. You still don't know what your brother's name is. Haha, my name is Ruo Qinshun. It has 2 characters. Qinshun. What is your nickname for me, brother? My name is Lai Haoshan. Brother Qinshun, just call me Haoshan. Lai Haoshan patted Ruo Qiange on the shoulder. Okay Haoshan. Ruo Qiange said with a smile and stretched out a hand. Lai Haoshan didn't react for a moment and stared at Ruo Qiange's small eyes in confusion. Ahem. Look, I'm taking a lot of risks in collecting the contents of this image stone. Ruo Qiange showed a hint of bitterness. After hearing this, Lai Haoshan reacted, wiped his hands and said with a smile. Brother Qinshun, don't worry. You took such a big risk to help me. I will definitely remember you well. How about I give you 5,000 high-grade spiritual stones when things are done? Wow. This guy is so generous. Ruo Qiange was momentarily shocked by the other party's generosity. Brother Qinshun, don't you have enough time? Then I will give you 5,000 more high-grade spirit stones, Lai Haoshan said. That's not what I meant. Ruo Qiange shook his head with a smile, and said with a slight smile. I don't lack spiritual stones, I want other things. Oh, what does Brother Chinchun want? Lai Haoshan asked doubtfully. I heard that your family has a blood spirit demon tree that has been preserved from ancient times, right? Ruo Qiange said with a smile. Although he has 3 million revenge points that can be exchanged for herbal medicines, you must know that this was saved by his frugality for 14 years, and the connection between the lower realm and the upper realm will soon be opened. By then combining opportunities and crises, the use of revenge points in these two places is absolutely huge. For example, what kind of celestial immortal half-ancestral ruins do you encounter? If you want to fight for it, you must have a lot of preparation work, life-saving charms, elixirs, magic weapons, etc. These all cost money. And what about the crisis? When you encounter the celestial immortal monster, you will need to exchange revenge points for suitable magic weapons or talismans, which is also a huge expense. Therefore, it is necessary to keep a lot of revenge points to deal with insufficient needs. This is the safest way for Ruo Qiange to reach the top of the world. He has been living in the mountains these years, simply using revenge points to exchange for some elixirs and techniques, so he gave people the illusion that the revenge points could never be spent. In fact, it won't be enough to spend later, and the role of revenge points is also very powerful. Because there is no battle, it has not been revealed yet. Demon Tree. Lai Haoshan's expression changed, and then he shook his head. There is no thing that doesn't exist. Hee. Ruo Qiange just smiled coldly. The old man told him about this matter several years ago. The Blazing King Kong clan has a blood spirit demon tree, and its fruit has the effect of increasing the body's killing power. At that time, he wanted the old man to get it for him, but he was rejected directly. The reason was that he didn't have time. There is time to talk about this, but there is no time to wave your hand and get the fruit, right? That's outrageous. Don't know why. Haha. I just want 3 ripe fruits from you, not your tree. Ruo Qiange explained with a smile. No. My family does not have such a tree. Lai Haoshan shook his head in denial. Okay. This is how you play, right? Then I don't have such a picture stone. If a picture stone appears among Qian singers, he is ready to crush it. Thump. Lai Haoshan knelt down and hugged Ruo Qiange's legs. Brother, I suddenly remembered that there is such a tree in my house. On the second day, inside the demon palace, sitting on the 3 thrones are the heads of the 3 tribes. Under the seats are 2 rows of long tables facing each other. There are various delicacies on the tables and they are full of guests. There is a dancing girl swaying in the field. Ruo Qiange sat next to Lai Haoshan, sipped a glass of wine in his hand, and stared at Zhang Chen not far away opposite. After the dancer finished her dance, Zhang Chen stood up and walked to the field. He bowed his hands to the 3 people on the throne and said, Zhang Chen, I am sent to the monster race in the name of the mighty Emperor Immortal Dynasty. Neither humble nor arrogant, with quite a lot of momentum, he quickly attracted the curious eyes of many women in the audience. This human boy is so handsome. If I could, I would really like to take him and make him my husband, hee. Come on, okay? Even if he really can stay, it won't be your turn. After all, he is just right for me. Stop putting gold on your face. Young Master Bai Zhao, who is as cold and arrogant as a fairy descending to earth, is the goddess of countless demons. Even he is interested in this young man, so it is not your turn. What are you talking about? Staring at the comments and shy voices of these women, Zhang Chen couldn't help but twitching the corners of his mouth slightly. No way, he is such a charming person. Wherever he goes, he will accidentally attract the attention of the opposite sex. From young girls over 100 years old to old women several hundred years old, there is no one he cannot attract. Haha. Tell me why you came here? The man headed by the throne said calmly. Zhang Chen smiled slightly. We at Tianwei Immortal Dynasty hope that monster race can retreat. Well, what can you give in return? The man held his chin and said with interest. The reward is that I can spare you monster race a small life in the future, Zhang Chen said with an evil smile. As soon as these words came out, the demons and people who were still talking and eating were dumbfounded and fell into a deathly silence. But after a while, there was a roar of laughter in the field. The 3 middle-aged men on the throne also looked at each other and laughed without restraint. Zhang Chen was not annoyed when he heard the ridicule from these people, and still maintained an elegant and easygoing smile on his face. You can go away and go back and tell that bullshit empress of yours that we are waiting for her to come and destroy us. Ha ha ha. As he spoke, the middle-aged man in the left throne couldn't help laughing. He is the leader of the Blazing King Kong clan. What a waste of our time. We thought that your dynasty would give us a satisfactory reward, but we didn't expect that you actually came to make us happy. The leader of the Tianyuan Green Python clan on the right throne stared at Zhang Chen with a sinister look on his face. What if you don't explain yourself clearly, then there is no need for you to go back. Hee. Zhang Chen put his hands behind his back, still with a smile on his face. The passage between the lower realm and the upper realm will be opened again soon. You are smart people, so you can naturally guess that it will be less than a year. Can you guarantee that we, Tianwei Immortal Dynasty, will be eliminated in this year? Even if we eliminate it, so what? Your monster race will be severely damaged. Can you deal with the powerful upper realm monks? At that time, they will occupy your territory and use your people to make medicine. The three giants of the monster race? Your king will become a prisoner and a laughing stock. Your royal princess, the demon queen, his wife and daughter will be ridden like dogs. The torture is worse than death. You three dog-like things can sit on the throne so arrogantly and think you look down on the people? Zhang Chen pointed at the three people on the throne. His words were sharp and powerful. Furious. The leader of the nine-tailed demon fox tribe was immediately furious. He stood up and overturned the table in front of him. A powerful aura from the peak of land gods descended on Zhang Chen. But Zhang Chen was not surprised at all. He smiled slightly and unleashed the same strength from the land gods, which quickly offset the opponent's oppression. At this time, everyone in the arena had faces as dark as coal, staring blankly at Zhang Chen, not knowing what to say. First, they were at a loss because this young man had always been calm and unhurried, and his aura was so strong that they didn't know what to say. The second reason is because I was shocked by the information in his words. Yes, the monks from the upper realm will come down to the realm in a year. They are already difficult to defeat, but now they have to go to war against the mighty Immortal Dynasty. You know, the Immortal Dynasty's 10,000-year foundation is still there. It's really here. In a time of life and death crisis, even though they are strong, monster race will never get any good results. At that time, they will even be unable to defeat the powerful upper realm monks. The third reason was that Zhang Chen's words were too sharp and the consequences of what he said scared them. The young monster race clan leader in the field kept wiping the cold sweat from his forehead. When he thought that he was about to lose this beautiful life and status and become a prisoner, he felt panic in his heart. As for the girls such as the princess, they lowered their heads and looked depressed, and some of the gentle and timid ones were even trembling. They have always been pampered. Who dares to offend them with the status given to them by their family? They have always been aloof, and the consequences Zhang Chen said simply frightened them. When they thought about the future life where they could not survive but could not survive, they simply couldn't. Speechless. The remaining two clan leaders also looked a little ugly. Yes, they know the situation between the upper realm and the lower realm. In less than a year, this passage will be completely opened. By then, it will be difficult for the monks from the upper realm to go to the lower realm. If they have to go through another battle before then, if there is a big war, then there will be no possibility of winning. Seeing that the people in the scene were silent, Zhang Chen knew that his plan was almost completed, and he only needed to add more fire. Haha. The monks from the upper realm and the lower realm are just competing for rare materials and herbs. Today's lower realm is no better than 100,000 years ago. The spiritual energy is thin and the realm of the monks is low. Do you think they will take a fancy to the resources we have here? Or do you think they will value our resources here? Are you saying that we today can do better than our predecessors 100,000 years ago, and can we successfully resist them? At this moment, a joking voice suddenly sounded. Zhang Chen's expression suddenly darkened. Unexpectedly, someone would dare to ruin his good deeds. Turning his eyes, he found that the speaker was a man wearing a mask. Although the expression on his face could not be seen, he could hear the disdain and teasing from the other person's voice. As soon as these words came out, the faces of the people present became even more ugly. Yes, Their strength is no better than that of 100,000 years ago. The most powerful monks in the world are only the land gods' late stage. How can they fight against the monks from the upper world? If the monks in the upper world wanted to, squeezing them to death would be as easy as squeezing an ant to death. No, they will be destroyed even if they take a breath. Thinking of this, anger suddenly appeared on the ugly face of the nine-tailed demon fox clan leader, and he stared at Zhang Chen coldly. Sharp-tongued little brat, you don't need to worry about our affairs, this is just what will happen in the future. What happened, but one thing is destined, that is, your Tianwei immortal dynasty will definitely die in front of us. Magoo, stop talking nonsense, kill him directly and use his blood sacrifice flag to promote our monster race power. After hearing Ruo Qianzhe's words, the leader of the Blazing Vajra clan no longer had any scruples and said directly. Seeing the voices of everyone talking, Zhang Chen's face became even colder. He knew that this strategy no longer worked, and it seemed that he had no choice but to use his trump card. Zhang Chen took out a grimace mask from his arms and put it on, looking around at everyone. Everyone should know me. It's you. That bastard who stole my wife. Sima Dongxijiang Qianzhe. Lai Haoshan stood up straight as if in a panic, looking at Zhang Chen with an angry look on his face. Lai Haoshan, what are you talking about, you bastard? Who is your wife? A clear and pleasant voice sounded, obviously a little unhappy at the moment. Ruo Qianzhe turned her head subconsciously and saw a gorgeous woman in a red dress looking at her with cold eyes. Mumi. Lai Haoshan stared blankly at the angry-looking Hu Mumi. The anger on his face disappeared in an instant, leaving only shock and sadness. He didn't understand why the woman in front of him, who he had grown up with and lived with for decades, showed such an angry look towards him for a strange man. He was really sad. A drop of clear tears fell from his face, and he just stood there, clenching his fists and sobbing. Everyone in the audience was dumbfounded. Lai Haoshan, the usually majestic and elegant young leader of the Blazing Vajra clan, would actually show such an expression in public. Looking at the young man's eyes full of disappointment and sadness, Hu Mumi was stunned for a moment, with an uncomfortable feeling in her heart. However, when she thought of her savior Zhang Chen, she coldly said, I have no relationship with you anymore. No matter what, please don't speak rudely to my benefactor again, otherwise don't blame me for being rude. The moment Hu Mumi finished speaking, a girl also wearing a red dress stood up and stared at her angrily with her hands on her hips. Stinky vixen. You damn bastard, do you know what you are saying? Hu Mumi was stunned for a moment, and then her face instantly turned cold. Little sister, don't think that I don't dare to touch you just because you are so favored in the clan. Hu Qingyu, the third daughter of the current head of the nine-tailed demon fox clan, is also the third princess. Everyone has seen how Haoshan has treated you over the years. What good things can he not do to you? He is even willing to risk his own life for you. If we really want to talk about life-saving grace, that piece of shit Zhang Qianzhe is nothing in front of Haoshan. Hu Qingyu crossed her waist, but her sweet and delicate voice burst out with swear words, which fully shows that she has a lot of talent at this time. How angry. In order to cultivate feelings, Lai Haoshan was sent to live with the nine-tailed demon fox clan for a long time when he was only a few years old. At that time, Hu Mumi and Lai Haoshan had a very harmonious relationship, and they both regarded each other as their best friends. At this time, Hu Qingyu was born. Because she was Hu Mumi's sister, Lai Haoshan naturally regarded her as his sister and took good care of her. As a princess, almost the only boy she came into contact with was Lai Haoshan. Because of his kindness to her, she gradually developed a love for him. After she was a teenager, the elders in the family suddenly announced that her sister was engaged to Lai Haoshan. At that time, she only felt that her whole world was about to collapse. During that time, even she didn't know how she came out. Until now, she has not let go, because in this world, except for Lai Haoshan, there is absolutely no other person who can fall in his eyes, so she is ready not to marry in this life. But who would have thought that just 7 years ago, Hu Mumi suddenly and unilaterally broke the contract? This surprised her but also made her a little puzzled. Why did her sister break the contract with brother Haoshan when they had such a good relationship? When he came back, he learned that it was because of a man who saved him. Hu Qingyu was very angry after hearing the news. If he really wanted to save his life, Lai Haoshan saved him more than once when he was exploring the Forbidden Forest, and almost lost half his life once. At that time, while she felt happy that her sister could have such a person who loved her, she also cried very sadly. Of course, I was sad because I saw Lai Haoshan's seriously injured body. For her, she doesn't need Lai Haoshan's love. As long as she can see his happy smile from a distance, her heart will be spontaneously happy. As long as she knows that he is happy, she will also feel happy in her heart. This is a very strange feeling. Don't like it just because you can get it, love because you love it. Hu Mumi was stunned, looking at Lai Haoshan's face blurred by tears, and lowered his head in confusion. Zhang Chen looked at this scene and sneered in his heart, but on the surface he looked remorseful. Sister Mu Mei, I'm sorry. I made it difficult for you. Hu Mumi raised her head and felt a little uncomfortable when she saw Zhang Chen's disappointed look. This was all Lai Haoshan's fault. If it weren't for him, how could Zhang Qiange be sad? The sense of self-blame in Hu Mumi's heart disappeared instantly, and she glared at Lai Haoshan. So just because you saved my life, you want to kidnap me for the rest of your life, right? That makes you satisfied, right? The tears on Lai Haoshan's face suddenly flowed faster. No. It's not like this. I have never felt like this. He was really sad. He had never thought about it like this before. Why would she think about him like this? You have never felt that way, so why are you scolding Zhang Chen? Isn't it just because I asked you to break the contract for him and you were jealous of him that you would act like this? I can see you clearly now, Hu Mumi said with a look on her face, looking at Lai Haoshan with disappointment. Hu Mumi. You are really going too far. Hu Qingyu couldn't bear it anymore and stared at Hu Mumi with blood-red eyes. Why do you think about Haoshan like this? You are the real little one people, you don't know how to be grateful, and you judge the heart of a gentleman with the heart of a villain. You. Hu Mumi looked at Hu Qingyu in disbelief. You are my sister, why are you talking to an outsider? Sigh. I'm sorry Sister Mu Mei, I made the relationship between you two deteriorate, Zhang Chen apologized. Originally, Hu Mumi wasn't very angry, but when she saw Zhang Chen's self-blaming look, the anger in her heart started to rise for some unknown reason, and she said angrily to Hu Qingyu. If you are still facing outsiders, don't blame sister. I don't recognize your sister. Haha. I don't want a heartless bad guy like you to be my sister. Hu Qingyu pulled her eyelids, stuck out her tongue, and rolled her eyes angrily. Hu Mumi was just about to speak, but Zhang Chen's self-blaming voice sounded again. Sister Mumi. I'm sorry, it's all my fault. The sister you have been with for decades misunderstood that you were a heartless person. When Hu Mumi heard this, she immediately became furious. You deserve to die for doubting the sister who took care of you because of a wild man. Hu Mumi appeared in front of Hu Qingyu and slapped him away. Snapped. There was a red blood mark on Hu Qingyu's pretty fair face. This slap is to teach you that you have no affection in your eyes, and you slap it because a wild man insults your closest relatives, Hu Mumi said coldly. As a result, the next second, Hu Qingyu slapped her face, so fast that she couldn't react at all. The force of this slap was no weaker than that of Hu Mumi, and was even a little harder than hers. Hu Mumi covered her red and swollen face and looked at Hu Qingyu blankly. You dare to hit me. She didn't understand that Hu Qingyu had obviously done something wrong, so why did she dare to hit herself? I slapped you for brother Haoshan. You're sorry for him. Hu Qingyu's hair was tied in 2 braids, and her red and swollen mouth looked a bit cute. Okay. Hu Mumi was immediately laughed out of anger. Why do you think your brother Haoshan was nice to you in the past? Wasn't it because of my sister? Do you think he was sincerely good to you? My sister is the one who really treats you. Good guy, you are a piece of shit. Hu Qingyu turned his head and glanced at Lai Haoshan, then lowered his head silently. Yes, it was all just her own sentimentality. Brother Haoshan didn't like her at all, and he only treated her well for Hu Mumi's sake. Now that she has offended Hu Mumi, maybe brother Haoshan will hate her. No way. Brother Haoshan has some true feelings for me. Hu Qingyu lowered his head and forced out an ugly smile, muttering to himself. Hee. Seeing Hu Qingyu's lowered head, Hu Mumi suddenly felt relieved. As if she thought of something, She looked at Lai Haoshin and said, "You said you would protect me for the rest of your life, right?" "Of course." Mew Mei. Lai Haoshin sniffled and nodded with a smile. "Okay, then I'll let you slap her." Hu Mumi pointed at Hu Qingyu. Sister, I want you to see with your own eyes that brother Haoshin, who is the most important in your heart, in his heart you are as worthless as trash. If you are slapped by your beloved, your expression will definitely be very wonderful." Hu Qingyu turned his head and looked at Lai Haoshin opposite him in a dull manner, with autumn water surging in his eyes. Brother Haoshin, will he really come to beat me? If this is really the case, then her heart will be completely broken. A green plum is not worth the fall from the sky, Ruo Qiange said leisurely, immediately attracting the attention of the audience. After all, Hu Mumi is the princess of the sovereign clan, a nine-tailed demon fox. They must not dare to talk about this kind of thing. They didn't expect someone to dare to speak first, so they were still shocked. Zhang Chen looked at Ruo Qiange with cold eyes. Is this damn bastard trying to ruin his good deeds again? However, Hu Mumi ignored Ruo Qiange's words at all, but looked at Hu Qingyu's drooped head, sobbing and choking, and sneered in her heart. She looked at Lai Haoshin and sneered. "Didn't you hear? Come quickly and slap her, or I will never pay attention to you again." Ruo Qiange stood up and patted Lai Haoshin on the shoulder. "The person you love takes your love for granted and treats you as a trick. The other person who loves you is full of eyes. You are the one who is willing to give everything for you. If you make her sad, I will look down on you." Halfway through, Ruo Qiange seemed to have thought of something, turned her face to the side, lowered her head and did not choose to continue talking. If Zhang Chen dies, the intelligence-lowering effect on them will disappear. What should I do then? Ruo Qiange just pondered for a while and then shook his head, and his mood soon returned to calm. Just repay the debt you owe master and let it go from now on. Yi Qingshui brought Ruo Qiange, who was on the verge of death, back to the sect to take good care of him. When he found out that he had two rude boneheads, he could kill people, seize the treasure and swallow them privately, but he chose to take great risks to raise him. People. It would be okay if Ruo Qiange was a transmigrator, and he wouldn't have to remember these kindnesses, but he is not. He is the Ruo Qiange who was saved countless times by the idiot Yi Qingshui. Ruo Qiange can hate her and stay away from her, but she really can't turn a blind eye to her kindness to her. Returning the favor, settling the cause and effect, and having nothing to do with each other for the rest of my life. Lai Haoshin shook his head, pushed Ruo Qiange's hand away and walked towards Hu Qingyu's direction. Sure enough, it was for myself. Looking at Lai Haoshin who kept approaching him, the water in Hu Qingyu's eyes could no longer stop sliding down. Lai Haoshin quickly walked up to her, and she closed her eyes in despair, her heart filled with despair. Hu Mumi's eyes were getting brighter and brighter. Sure enough, Lai Haoshin still cared more about himself. Stupid sister, why are you so stupid to go against your sister for a wild man? Come on now. He will come and beat you for me instead, and you will definitely die of discomfort, ha ha ha. Snapped. Listening to this deafening sound, Hu Qingyu felt even more uncomfortable. Her tears couldn't stop falling down, and she cried even more sadly. Ha ha. It's all just my own self-impression, woo woo woo. But what puzzled her was that there was no burning pain on her face. She opened her eyes in confusion and saw a strong silhouette blocking her face. Brother Haoshin didn't hit me. He walked towards me to stand in front of me to protect himself. Hu Qingyu's tears stopped in an instant, and she looked at that incomparably majestic body with dull eyes. You. How dare you hit me? Hu Mumi covered the other side of her red and swollen face, and immediately became angry. I will never pay attention to you again, she said and was about to slap her back. As a result, Lai Haoshin's palm easily caught her, and he said with extremely cold eyes, the slap just now was slapped back for Qingyu. Snapped. Lai Haoshin slapped him again. Hu Mumi felt another burst of burning pain on her face, and her whole body became dizzy. This slap is for Qingyu who you want to use me to hurt. Before Hu Mumi could recover, Lai Haoshin slapped her in the face again. Hu Mumi felt dizzy and her eyes could only see darkness. Who turned off the light? This slap is for Hu Qingyu, who has been waiting for me for decades. As he said that, Lai Haoshin kicked her to the ground. then turned his head and looked at Hu Qingyu, who still had 2 tears on his face. He couldn't help but feel a little distressed in his heart, and wiped the tears from her eyes. "I'm sorry, I kept you waiting." Looking at Lai Haoshan's gentle eyes, Hu Qingyu was still dumbfounded at this time. He didn't expect happiness to come so suddenly. Lai Haoshan didn't care so much, he kissed her gently and proved it with his actions. Hu Qingyu's whole body trembled, and she leaned back slightly. She opened her eyes wide and looked into Lai Haoshan's eyes in disbelief. Shocked, stunned. Everyone in the audience was dumbfounded. Almost all of this happened in a flash of lightning. Zhang Chen looked at this scene with a very gloomy expression. Lai Haoshan, this damn bastard, dared to kiss Zhang Chen's woman, and in front of so many people, it was so damn shameful. In his opinion, all good-looking fairy sisters in this world should be with him, so he would feel very uncomfortable when his woman was kissed by others, as if he had stepped on shit, and he could only gritting his teeth helplessly. Zhang Chen felt like there was an extra hat on his head, and felt extremely uncomfortable, but he couldn't rush forward and punch Lai Haoshan, the bastard who dared to touch his woman, to the ground and then cut him to pieces. Not to mention how frustrated he felt. I could only watch this scene with a blushing face and gritted teeth. Aware of the pain and aggrievedness in Zhang Chen's heart, revenge points plus 5000. Zhang Chen's subsequent luck 122,771 has been converted into an equal amount of revenge points. The 3 middle-aged people on the throne looked at this scene. The 9-tailed demon fox clan leader was a little embarrassed. He looked at the other 2 clan leaders and apologized. "The upbringing is not strict, and my heartless second daughter made you laugh." He really felt helpless. His child knew it, and he believed that Hu Mumi was not such a heartless person. Why did he do such a thing today? "Haha, Mr. Mew, it seems that the 3rd princess of your clan is very close to that brat of my family." Lai Potion, the leader of the Blazing Vajra clan, joked, changing the topic by the way. "Brother Potion means. How about we have another engagement?" Hu Magu said with a smile. He was already a little regretful about breaking off the engagement before, but now that he had this opportunity to make up for it, he was naturally unwilling to let it go. What's more, his daughters still loved each other, and it could also enhance the relationship between the 2 families. Yes, after all, I think these 2 children are quite compatible. The engagement can also bring our 2 families closer together, which is also a beautiful thing. Leopotian smiled and nodded. But wait a moment. Also ask the children for their opinions. But just halfway through his words, he frowned. With so many pairs of eyes looking at each other, aren't you ashamed that these 2 children can still kiss each other for so long with their eyes full of affection? Ahem. Leopotian cleared his throat, but the 2 of them didn't react at all. Lai Haoshan. Lai Potion roared loudly. This shout frightened Lai Haoshan, and he subconsciously bit down on his tongue, which ended up biting his tongue. Ah! Lai Haoshan lay directly on the ground, moving back and forth in pain. Hu Qingyu's fair and pretty face turned a little red. She licked her lips and shyly covered her face with her hands. I don't know how long it took before Li Hao finally recovered. He took Hu Qingyu's hand covering his face, looked at Leopotian and Hu Magu and said, "Dad, father-in-law, I want to propose marriage to Hu Qingyu." Hearing this, Hu Qingyu's pretty face immediately turned redder. Ah! Why did I even call my father-in-law shameless? Lai Potion looked at Hu Magu and smiled. I support it very much. I wonder what brother Magu thinks. Haha. I have to ask my daughter about this. Hu Magu smiled slightly and turned his head to look at Hu Qingyu. My dear daughter, what do you think? Hu Qingyu's face suddenly turned redder, and she lowered her head and dared not speak. Haha. Hu Mu was amused, and he made a look of pity, and sighed and looked at Lai Potion. It seems to be a pity, my daughter seems not interested in this engagement. Oh, that's such a pity. Lai Potion also sighed. After hearing these 2 sentences, Hu Qingyu became a little anxious. He didn't care about many other things. He looked at Hu Magu with a blushing face and said, "Who said I didn't want to?" After saying that, his little face immediately turned redder and lowered his head. Ha ha ha. Lai Potion and Hu Magu looked at each other and laughed. Listening to this cheerful voice, Zhang Chen's gloomy face finally couldn't hold back anymore, and he said angrily, "I don't agree. She is my, Zhang Chen's, #1 Supreme Woman in the future. You can't marry that damn bastard. Zhang Chen was already very uncomfortable when he proposed the engagement. He became even more uncomfortable after seeing that the two old men were willing to agree. After hearing that his beloved woman blushed and agreed, he became even more complete. Unable to bear it any longer, my mood became so gloomy that I shouted out all the resentment in my heart. But after he finished saying this, everyone in the audience looked at him in a strange way. Especially Hu Mumi, Yao Qing, and all the women who knew Zhang Chen who had just woken up, all looked at him with disbelief, their eyes full of dullness and horror. They really didn't expect Zhang Chen to say such words that made them feel heartbroken. Looking at the ferocious look on Zhang Chen's face, they all felt that he had become really strange. It seemed that they didn't recognize him in an instant. You damn beast. Don't you like that bitch Hu Mumi? You said those words because you think your life is too long, right? After Lai Haoshan came to his senses, he immediately said to Zhang Chen glared angrily. This damn bastard, even if he bullied him once, he actually wanted to bully him twice. It was simply disgusting. But to be honest, he was quite grateful to Zhang Chen. If it weren't for Zhang Chen, he would still be stupid and unable to see Hu Mumi's true face. Zhang Chen seemed to realize that his appearance was a bit out of character. He cleared his throat and returned to his elegant and easygoing look. He looked at the sullen Hu Magu. Well. In order not to waste everyone's time, let's get back to business. Oh, are you going back to the business of killing Ji Qi? Although Hu Magu was smiling, his smile was cold and scary. Hee. Zhang Chen was not angry, he just sighed and said solemnly, if I can't persuade Monster Race to withdraw, I will be sorry for the monarch who was appointed behind me, and I will be sorry for the people behind me. I have no face to go back. I want to beheaded or beheaded. It's up to you. I say this to establish a good character. The second is the most important thing, that is to show the dozen girls he knows. When those dozen girls saw his righteous look, they would definitely be even more reluctant to die, and they would continue to come forward to intercede for themselves. Then Zhang Chen continued to contradict Hu Magu and kept saying the words, if you don't retreat, I'm sorry, and so on, and then the dozen women became even more moved. In order to save this righteous man, he will definitely force himself to die and make Monster Race retreat. The fact is just as he imagined. If Qiange had not appeared and his plan had gone smoothly, then things would have developed as he imagined. But there was a variable like Ruo Qiange. As a result, he couldn't help but broke into the house and said those words that chilled them, so this was destined not to develop as he expected. Okay, then I will help you, I hope you won't hide. Hu Magu's face was extremely gloomy, and an energy ball appeared in his hand. After gathering his strength, he was ready to throw it towards Zhang Chen and kill him with one blow. He just wants to kill this hateful boy now and doesn't want to wait any longer. Come on, I don't have the shame to see the monarch and the people of Dawn when I go back anyway. Zhang Chen closed his eyes, puffed up his chest, and looked like he was ready to die. Hu Mumi looked at Zhang Chen's calm look and felt a little complicated. He turned out to be such a righteous person. Then why did he say such words before? And why did he look so ferocious? Forget it. Let's wait until we save him and then ask him in private. Hu Mumi sighed, stepped in front of Zhang Chen, and looked at Hu Magu with a firm face. Dad, if you want to kill him, kill me first. You. Are you going to make me mad to death? Hu Magu stood up immediately, his chest heaving rapidly, and he glared at Hu Mumi angrily. With one person taking the lead, Yao Qing and the other girls also made up their minds and appeared in front of Zhang Chen one after another. They all looked at Hu Magu with firm faces. Senior Magu wants to kill him, then we must kill him first. Kill him. The leader of the Tianyuan Green Python clan and others who were not on good terms with Hu Magu were still covering their mouths and laughing secretly when they saw this scene. But when they saw their daughter appear, they could no longer laugh, and their faces instantly became gloomy. Come down.